Sorry, I forgot to unmute my mic. Hey, everybody, it's good to see you. I tell you, most of you know about the drama I experienced trying to eat a snack on Friday. I was so hungry. It was like 4 o'clock. I was like, oh, I should eat something. By 5 o'clock, my stomach was rocking, and it's been bad ever since. So don't be surprised if I have to put up my intermission sign and take a break. And still not 100%, but I'm better, so I'm enough to at least do the show today. So today we're having, instead of Flummoxed Friday, we're having Savage Sunday again. We have a total of 23 advice questions that were previously submitted. Everybody knows the drill. These letters, we don't do questions live on the air here. We do them, these are questions that have been previously submitted, and I read them to you, and then I respond off the cuff. So there are a total of 23 today. Yes, Pam, I'm kind of still, I don't know. I don't know what was the deal, if it's just me, if it was, something, if like more people got affected. I just don't know what to say. But I know one thing, they don't have to worry about seeing me no time soon at that place, which shall remain nameless. So anyway, let's get started. Question number one. This is a female in the 21 to 25 age group from Phoenix, Arizona. I have been dating my long distance boyfriend for 7 years. I moved across the country 3 years ago to finally be with him. We are both 24 now. We have lived together ever since and pretty much do everything together. I haven't gone out with girlfriends since I moved here because I didn't have friends. Finally, I have some responsible and good friends from work. So one of them's getting married, and last night we went out to dinner. This was a girls only thing. All of us have long-term boyfriends, and none of them were there. My boyfriend was already upset that I told him he couldn't come. I politely asked for a ride just in case I had a few more drinks. I only had two all night, but he refused because he wasn't invited. Wow. I decided to share my location with him the whole night out of courtesy and for safety reasons. The place we were going to was 20 minutes away, and I had to drive to one of my friends' houses so we could carpool. She then had to go pick up another girl before we went to the place. We were having dinner and catching up from 8 to 10:30. He was already asking when I would come home by 9. What? Keep in mind that I got a ride there, so I wasn't able to just go on my own. If it were up to me, I wouldn't have been out late. Oh, my stomach. You guys, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. There's nothing in my stomach. It was just a false alarm, but just in case it wasn't, I didn't want to be on the camera when it happened. I tell you, I'm never eating there again. So let me get back to my letter. This is terrible. Okay, so the young lady says her boyfriend was upset that he couldn't come with her to a girls only night. Okay. After dinner, we went to an adult store to get the bride some stuff for her wedding night. She was new to everything. So we were there for an hour because she had so many questions. Oh, I guess that means she's not experienced in the ways of the Jedi. We left there at midnight and started heading back to drop people off. I was the last stop since I drove to the driver's house. By the time I got home, it was after 1 a.m. I felt bad that I was out that late, but a lot of it was just driving. When I got home, he was very angry. He is normally asleep by 10 and wanted to start a fight. I didn't entertain it. Now he's ignoring me. I thought he would be happy for me because I haven't had friends like this in since ever. These are mature, responsible women. We don't go hard. He knows this. I would love to go out with him again, maybe once a month. Obviously, it wouldn't be so late, but I know he wouldn't approve and will tell me that I'm being disrespectful for not being in bed with him by a certain time. I think he is too controlling, but he is way too good at arguing, so I can't win with him. I don't know how to tell him I need time away from him once in a while. You fix your lips, young lady, and you say, look, we are not Siamese twins joined at the hips. I have a life. I'm a separate person than you do. I have friends that you don't have. I have a job that you don't have. I have interests and hobbies that you don't have. So I'm not sure what it is that you're trying to get at and why you're trying to be so controlling, but this is not going to work. If this is how you were going to be, you should have told me before I moved out here. But I could always move back. That's not a problem. So you make a decision. Either you're going to act like an adult and you're going to treat me like I'm one, or we don't have to do this. Because one thing I refuse to do is be put in a cage and controlled by anybody, especially when I'm not doing anything wrong. You just don't want me to live my life. You just want me to be, who you want me to be. You're going to have to stand up for yourself and establish this kind of boundary with him because otherwise, he's going to gradually chip away at your freedom to the point where you only go to work and come straight home, are scared to talk to anybody on the phone or do anything that he might, quote, disapprove of. He ain't your daddy. So you do need to remind him of that. You know, he is not your father. Okay. I don't understand why you even. I mean, I'm glad you didn't entertain it. Let's start with that. I'm very glad that you stood up for yourself and refused to engage in his nonsense. But you have to take it one step further, which is tell him how it's going to be in your life with him so that he can understand and make a decision. Because it may just be that you just wasted 7 years of your life. Because I'm telling you, this is especially for you guys, you to just have moved here. This is not a good sign. This is a major red flag that he's acting like this and started calling you at 9 o'clock asking when you're gonna be there. And you shared your location. You shouldn't even have done that. He don't need to be keeping tabs on you like that. That was too much. Okay, when you go, and when you come back, you'll be back. That's how normal men are. So I don't even know why you even, try to appease him in that way. And as you see, it wasn't good enough. Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm warning you now. You're treading in very dangerous territory, trying to, appease him and keep the peace and all this kind of stuff. You go where you want to go when you want to go. Okay, you talking about once a month? That's not too much. Shit, I would go out like every week or two. I was going somewhere away from my husband and that damn baby. Because they were driving, both of them was making me feel crazy. I had to get out of the house. I had to go somewhere, even if I only went to my aunt's house and just, because she didn't have any kids or anything. And we just sit there and have tea and shoot the breeze, sit out in her garden. So it was time away from them. And that every woman needs time away from her partner. And if she has children, time away from them as well. We need time. Right, once a month, that's nothing. I'm just like, I think I know my husband wished that I would only have been gone once a month. Shoot, every time he turned around, I'm like, look, I'm out. Well, and he knew better than to ask me when I was gonna be back, so he would just look, he would just have that look like, I want to know when you're gonna be back, but I know better than to ask you because I'm not ready to get cussed out. And so he would just say, okay, have fun. And then when I got, sometimes I want to be gone like a, hour or two or three, something, short, go shopping or something. And, you don't want you buying lingerie and bras and stuff. You don't want your, man tagging along with you like that. That's something I like to do with women. And or maybe I'm getting him a surprise. You just never know. But I need time by myself, and you don't need to be there. And that's just the way it is. So good for you. But you just be very careful about what your conciliatory behaviors towards this guy gonna have you walking on eggshells and jumping around through hoops, being at his beck and call. That's no kind of relationship. You will be miserable. Okay, so you fight for your independence right now and put him in check. Don't let him start getting away with this. Let's move on to question number 2 of 23. This is a female in the 18 to 21 age group out of London. And she says, I have been dating this guy. We're both 19-year-old students for over 3 months now. And a while back, he told me that he needed to go slow. Oh, thanks, Sunday. Yes, girl. He needed to go slow because he was molested as a young kid. Oh, no. I told him that I would go at his pace and let him lead with acts that he is comfortable with. But after all this time, he still won't go to therapy to try to work out some of his issues covered by our tuition. I've tried to talk to him about it a few times, but I don't want to pressure him into it if he doesn't want to go. Instead of therapy, he is on antidepressants and he smokes the herbalicious every day to cope. Hmm. We still haven't had eggplant yet, which I'm okay with. Okay, you all 3 months in. My problem is that he refuses to get therapy and has such unhealthy coping mechanisms. Even if therapy doesn't help our eggplant life, I just want him to start getting help because there are a lot of things about him that worry me. I like this guy a lot and I'm not ready to give up, but I don't really know where to go from here because I feel like I'm not getting what I need out of the relationship and he isn't working on fixing any of these issues. Thanks, Nat. I'm not looking for him to be fixed all of a sudden, just to start working on it. Any advice on how to nudge him in that direction better? Yes. You say you are an emotional cripple. You have allowed this person to hurt you when you're a kid and to continue hurting you into the age of 19 and probably beyond because you refuse to get any help to deal with it and make yourself better. So, this is what I'm going to do. If you do not seek help by the end of the month, I'm out. Because one thing I'm not going to do as a 19-year-old is deal with somebody who's got these kind of problems. It's outside the scope of my abilities. I am not a shrink. I'm not a therapist. I'm not any kind of a pastor. I'm nobody who can help you with this problem. Yet I would be in a position where I would be suffering because of it. I don't want that for myself, and I really don't want it for you either. But if that's the path that you choose, you have every right to do it. But likewise, I have every right not to be on that path with you. So this is your notice. So you got 30 days. Well, since she said she's not ready, so I'm telling her to take 30 days, right? So in that 30 days, she can start, adjusting herself to the fact that this is it. This is all. This is the best that he's got to offer. And you call yourself having a boyfriend? It's not a boyfriend. It's just some broken, messed up man that you messing around with, and he's not even really messing around with them because they haven't even screwed. So you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm just trying to think at 19. Oh, hell to the no. That's when I met the dude, in Hawaii, the story I told you about I was 19. I wasn't trying to be living this kind of lifestyle where I'm sitting there looking at you and holding your hand and stuff while you get high. No, it wasn't about that wasn't about that life. So, this is very sad, young lady. This is the kind of thing that if I don't know what your relationship is like with your mother or maybe what kind of mother you got, but this is the kind of thing that talking to your mom would be able to set you straight, to tell you that you deserve more. You deserve to be in a relationship where you're getting your needs met. You deserve to be happy. You deserve at 19 years old to have a very fully satisfying, intimate life with the man that you love. None of that is going to be available to you in this situation that you have put yourself. You need to get out of it. But I'm going to give you 30 days for you to, you know, start making that happen. Start getting used to it. Ooh, this is a rough one. I mean, I feel for him, that he was violated in that respect. I know that's traumatic, but what he's doing, the trauma, he's not letting it. He's not doing anything about it. He's just trying to put these band-aids over it, and so he's still carrying all of those injuries and that hurt and that rage. He's got to do something with it that's going to be helpful for him. So let's move on. Ooh, question number 3. This is a female in the 21 to 26 age group from North Carolina. She says, "Is my relationship with my brothers toxic? Do you think counseling would help? I live with my parents. At times, I feel violated because my second brother continues wearing only boxers at home. He doesn't care that I'm uncomfortable and says, 'Don't look.' I get flashbacks to us in our teens when he accidentally flashed me. Are you sure it was an accident? At the time, my father brushed it off because it was an accident. The whole situation made me rethink our relationship. I wasn't abused, but I feel violated. We are inseparable. We even went to the same college. My mom pressured me to get away from home. He's protective of me and doesn't like it when I get male attention. He actively tries to end the conversation or physically block guys who seem interested in me. My family applauds him as he's protecting me." End quote. His friends often say they wish they had the type of relationship that we have with their sibling. As kids, we shared a room and a bed. What? I caught him wearing my clothes and I felt violated. I didn't tell anyone. I just yelled at him. I was about 7. I didn't tell anybody. I don't remember much about the years after that, but we were still close. At one point, I shut him out. I don't know why. No one understood me and nobody wanted to talk to me about it. A number of issues like bullying could have caused me to shut him out. Also, I would wait until midnight and binge eat and try to hide it. Around that time, another brother had mental illness issues, and I caught him attempting to abuse our dog. He got kicked out and got treatment, but our relationship hasn't been the same. Attempting to abuse the dog. What kind of abuse? This is letting my imagination go in horrible, horrible directions. The second brother was a teen when he started drinking and self-harming. He was out of control. Some nights I prayed he wasn't in an accident. He acted like he hated me. I told so he could get treatment and counseling. He has been self-harming for years. Now he acts like he loves me again. He playfully sits in my lap and lays on me. Will drink from my cup and eat off my plate even if I smack his hand. I attempted to set boundaries because we're adults by not allowing him to sit on my lap or lay on me or eat off my plate. But whenever I set boundaries, he always brings up how he's traumatized because when he was younger, I shut him out. It's like he's guilt tripping me. My grandmother has mentioned how us currently being separated at different colleges, moved back home, has been difficult for him. Something that stuck out to me was my grandmother had said that she thinks he has gender identity issues and thinks he is struggling. I never considered therapy until a friend mentioned it. My family demonizes therapy. I've always felt like my childhood was fine until I got that flashback. Okay, so what's the question? Oh, that's right. It was at the beginning. Girl, you wrote too much. This is ridiculous. Is your relationship with your brothers toxic? Do you think counseling would help? You put the question at the beginning instead of at the end. Um, if I were you, I would do everything in my power to move out and stay out and not let them come to my house. Your brothers are weird as hell. I'm sorry. And a lot of the stuff you say, you don't get. Uh, there's some things that you blocked out and you can't remember why. In there is the answer to what's going on here. So it sounds like all 3 of you need some therapy, both of your brothers and you. Now, this brother who, quote, accidentally flashed you and likes to walk around in his boxer shorts around his sister, that's not normal. That's not normal. Young men are usually very private about that kind of stuff, especially around their female siblings. They do not flash them. They don't walk around in their drawers in front of them. I even have one of my cousins, he's kind of special needs. And I guess, he just in the house with him and his mother. Maybe she doesn't mind. But I told him, when there are other women in the house, put some pants on. Nobody wants to see you walking around with your Johnson swinging in the wind. That's inappropriate. And so, he goes and he puts, but like I said, he's special needs. And so, stuff, you have to teach him, and then you have to remind him of these kind of things. You don't say that your brothers are special needs. They sound pretty normal to me, except for these emotional issues that they have. This kid has about the developmental capacity of, I don't know, maybe a 10-year-old, 11, something like that. Like a kid, but he just got a man body. But it's a different situation. And once I told him, then he stopped. Yeah, I don't think it was accidental either. I think that he was, he's getting his jollies, and there's something happened, which is why you have this big blank spot in your childhood. It was a traumatic experience, is what I'm thinking. And that's, you quote, blocked it out, that you don't have any memories of all of that. So, I'm not saying that you aren't coping well as you are, but if it's important to you to find out what's really going on in your family dynamic with these brothers of yours, um, therapy would be a good idea for you too. This is horrible. And is your relationship with them toxic? Absolutely. Toxic? No, I don't know about toxic. It's dysfunctional. It's very dysfunctional. There's something seriously wrong with the dynamic here, and your father brushing it off as and being an accident. That's not the normal reaction either. Because a normal father would be like, motherfucker, put some fucking pants on. Don't be walking around flashing your dick in front of your sister. Put some fucking pants on when you in this house. Okay, that would be a normal father's response. But your daddy just tried to brush it off. Your feeling of being violated didn't make a difference to him. So all the way around, I'm seeing all kind of boundary violations when it comes to your body, your time, your sense of who you are, the limits you want to put. They just take your food, just sit there and sit on you and do all the stuff, whether you want it or not. And that is the sign of abusive people. So I'm just saying, this is a very dysfunctional relationship, and the brother trying to guilt trip you to get what he wants from you. Well, you abandoned me when I was a kid. You're supposed to say, so what? You're not a kid no more. Get the fuck over it. That's what you should have said to him. That kind of thing. You got to start putting up these very strict walls and boundaries, and stop letting them manipulate you and control you like this. They want something, you say no. What I look like? You want that kind of stuff? You go get it from your mother, not me. I don't give a fuck what you need or what you want. And you hungry, motherfucker, take your ass in the kitchen and get a plate, just like I did. Stuff like that. You have to, start establishing yourself as a separate entity that they can't bully and just roll over like this. This is terrible. Yeah, there's nothing normal about this. And as soon as you can, you do that first, because you need to start putting those boundaries in place until you can get your money right and do what you need to do, get your job or whatever, and then move out. But first step, boundaries, okay, boundaries and limits, and then second step, move out. That's the way you're going to do it. Question number 4, female, 26 to 29, out of Jackson, Mississippi. I'm not sure what to do about my job and my mental health. Yes, they will make you crazy. About 6 years ago, I landed a job as an administrative assistant for an insurance brokerage. One of the women who hired me, let's call her Cindy, was also the office manager. She had this horrible habit of snapping her gum. Oh my God, I can't stand it when people crack gum. Snap, snap, snap. She would do it over and over again. This only irritated me when we took our breaks together, because her desk was in the back away from mine. Then, after a few years, she got moved to a room down the hallway. I could hear her snapping constantly. I would sit there in painful silence, listening to this woman snap her gum over and over again, praying for it to be 5 o'clock. I began asking her to stop cracking her gum, but she would not listen. She just couldn't seem to stop herself. She just sat there and snapped over and over and again. I began getting physical reactions whenever I heard her crack her gum. Over and over again, she would snap that gum. My body would tense up. My eyes would begin to fill with tears. I was so frustrated. I once yelled down the hallway, "Can you please stop cracking your gum?" And even after that, she was only quiet for about an hour. I had said so many times I had to quit, but I never did because I didn't have enough experience for another job. I told myself I would immediately quit if I ever got with a gun snapper again. Cindy finally left for another job, and I was so glad, but so broken down I felt crazy. Then in August of last year, our agency was purchased by another firm because my boss wanted to retire. 6 months in, just this past week, one of my coworkers has started scratching her gum. She has been at the agency for 40 years. She's also not very nice, so I don't want to upset her. Immediately, I tensed up and was shocked. You got to be fucking kidding me. She's done it this past Friday. Oops, hold on a second. I've got 2 pages here. Yesterday and today, I was hit with so much hopelessness that I got up and just ran to my car. Basically, the new coworker was on hold with the company snapping her gun and complaining about being on hold. I was waiting for her to get off the phone so I could ask her to stop snapping, but the hold was a long one, and I just couldn't stop my anxiety and growing and crying at my desk. I was going to email her. I was going to instant message her, but all I could think about was how she would see me as a freak. I couldn't stop criticizing myself for not leaving my job back when the first gum snapper tormented me. My boss called and was very upset that I'd left without saying anything. I apologized, but didn't know how to say I was distraught over fucking gum cracking, but because that sounds crazy. I am just so depressed that I stayed at this horrible job for 5 years for no reason, to just be back where I was. I'm just so confused and sad. Why can't people be decent and respect public spaces? I would never do anything these people do. I want to work remotely so badly, but haven't found an opportunity. Sorry for bothering you with a rant about gum snapping. I feel very silly. Any advice on how to approach the situation tomorrow when I go in? And will I be questioned about my dramatic disappearance? So most likely you will be questioned about that. But honey, I so hear you about that gum thing. I am extremely auditory. My daughter used to tell me I had dog hearing because I could be downstairs in the kitchen and I could hear what she was doing in her room upstairs on the opposite side of the house, and be hollering up there, "What are you doing?" And she'd be like, "I can't believe it," and stuff. I could hear everything. And one thing I cannot stand when people tap or drum their fingers and knock their knees as their chair is wiggling. Like they wiggle the chair back and forth and stuff, or they bounce to the chair and the chair's going creaky, 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 creaky. I can't stand any of that. None of it. Now, I have to tell you that I have never heard of a job where they let you crack gum. I don't know any job like that because that is so unprofessional, such a hood rat kind of thing to do. That's what you show yourself to be, some little ghetto bitch sitting up there cracking gum. No woman of class, sophistication, and style cracks gum. The only people that do that are hood rats. So, you know, I've never seen that in a place of employment. That person would have been called into the office and told to lose the gum immediately and not to ever do that again. It's disturbing the whole floor. But, for some reason where you're working, that's okay. So you need to polish up your resume. You got 5 years now. That's enough experience to go work anywhere. You polish up your resume, look into a job that has like for a more professional thing, like a law firm. Because that's where I always worked. As you wasn't cracking no gum up in a law firm. They would have booted your ass out so fast. Get on like a law firm, an engineering firm, and a architectural firm, work in a government office where there's, public contact, that kind of thing where there's more structure and they ain't having it. And then you won't have to be bothered with that problem. Yeah, that tapping pencils and pens. People, I can't even stand to look at stuff because you know how you got people that want to twirl their hair all the time. They talk to this one girl and she used to bite her hair and I always had a mouthful of hair. And I was like, "You nasty hoe. That's just ridiculous. Your hair is dirty. Even after you just wash it. I mean, it's like it catches shit from the air, dust and stuff. And so you up there putting it in your mouth eating it. It was just the nastiest habit I've ever seen in my life. I don't know why she did that. So you go to talk to her, right? And she got like, she take this part and she put it in her mouth. And she was like gnawing on it and stuff. So this part on here was shorter than the one on this side because she was eating it. It was some gruesome stuff. I tell you, people are weird. And I used to ride the bus, right? I commute to San Francisco on this bus, the Trans Bay bus, the N something, I don't NZ or something like that. Anyway, I get on there and the bus goes down High Street and stuff, and then you go and you get on the freeway. And on the way back, there was this woman had started getting up riding the bus, the same one that I would get on, and she was a gum cracker. So here's this giant bus, right? It's the double kind of bus, filled with commuters, people exhausted from being at work all day, mad because they had crazy clients, or they're mad at their boss, or they're anxious because they got to hurry up and get to their kids for daycare. People are like on edge, right? Because it's the end of the workday and everybody's tired and their nerves are already shot. Here's this ghetto bitch with the kind with them long nails that's all hooked under and stuff, looking just so unsanitary. And she's sitting there with her blonde braids in her hair and stuff. And the woman had to be in her late 40s. I'm not talking about a teenager here. And she sit there right on the front of the bus, cracking this gum, just loud as hell. So you know what I did? I changed my schedule at work so that I could get off a half an hour earlier. I would go to work half an hour earlier, get off half an hour earlier, so that I would never have to ride the bus with her ever again. Oh my God. Yeah, that's a good for you Sunday, but sometimes yes, AC Transit, Diana know. And honey, the stories I could tell you about AC Transit and BART. Yo people in Oakland out of control. But I I don't have to do that anymore. If I go to San Francisco, I don't care if I'm going 3 blocks. I'm in my car. I'm not riding public transportation unless I absolutely have to. Like, my car's in the shop or something. But even then, I'll be like, let me call me a lift. I just don't want to. I can't do it to myself anymore. I'm too old now. I don't have that kind of nerves. Ooh, but honey, I feel for you. But that's my suggestion. Polish up your resume, detailed. Go in to get some professional to help you if you need to, and send it out and get yourself a job in a more professional environment. Because where you working is a ghetto. Okay. Where the managers don't even think that that's a problem. I don't want to hear that shit all day. Honey, Michelle, girl, I could tell you some stories, especially one time on BART. It was a dead body on there. It's a dead body just riding the BART train. And nobody knew dude was dead until later. It was all kind of crazy shit happened on BART. But yes, let's move on. It's taking me down memory lane of memories I'm not trying to remember. Question number 5, female 46 to 52 from Knoxville, Tennessee. My problem is that my 28-year-old son looks to be what you call milk toast. Oh no. My son sometimes calls me to vent about his girlfriend spitting in his face, telling him he's a loser, throwing objects at him, threatening him with knives, and using drugs. This chick is crazy. The list goes on. He is definitely not a loser. He has always had a full time job, takes care of her kids while she always neglects them. He came to my apartment yesterday. I noticed his front tooth is chipped. I said, "Who chipped your tooth?" And he gave me some excuse because she was sitting in hearing shot. After he left, my younger son, he's 21 and still lives with me, said that his brother told him earlier that she had headbutted him in an anger rage and chipped his tooth. My son does not do drugs. He does not drink or anything. She also cheats on him. He is having a hard time leaving her because he feels sorry for her having a bad upbringing. I don't know if my son will resent me if I report her. Should I do it? Oh, absolutely. You should have done it right then while they were at your house. I mean, I guess you didn't find out till later, huh? Oh, yeah, after he left. Okay, well, I guess you couldn't do that. But that would have been the ideal thing to say, oh, look at this. And go in another room and pick up the phone and say, police, come here. I want to report domestic violence situation. And have her ass carted up out of there and arrested and have her kids put in foster care to get your son away from her. And I know a lot of people, well, he's an adult, he can make a decision. Yeah, but something is going on with dude that he thinks that this is okay, that this kind of abusive behavior is something that he needs to tolerate. So I don't know what happened to your son, what kind of stuff he observed in your while he was growing up in the household. Conveniently he didn't put any of that in there. Is he seen a lot of domestic violence? Because, this kind of behavior is very questionable. It's like your son, I'm telling you, even as a woman, if I had a man doing some shit like that to me, he would be dead right now because I would have shot him, stabbed him. Something would have happened to him, thrown boiling water on him in his sleep. Something dreadful would have happened to dude if he was doing this kind of stuff to me. So the kind of thing that, the reason your son is just taking it and now his tooth is all fucked up. I mean, he can get it fixed, but still that's just extra, extra money out of his pocket. I don't know, Mom. I would report it if it were my child and then just let the chips fall where they may. He might not be happy that you did that, but you know what? I'll be like, too bad. That's too bad. You my child. And as long as your dusty ass is my child, I'm going to do whatever I need to do to run interference when somebody's trying to hurt you. I don't give a fuck if you 50 and I'm 70. I'm going to still drop that dime. And that's just the way it is. So, people don't understand about that parent-child relationship. Oh yeah, she has assaulted him and hurt him, and so that's why she's Black Phoenix says it's learned behavior. That's why I'm questioning what he saw when he was growing up. If he grew up in an environment where domestic violence was the norm in case, but you was the one getting violated, so that he doesn't really see where it's a problem. It's normalized behavior for him. That's why I asked that because this is very. I don't know. I don't know any guy who would take that. He would either left her or she gonna, throwing objects at him and all this stuff, threatening him. He would have been throwing shit right back and threatening her right back. All this verbal abuse and all this stuff. Head butting him. I would have choked that bitch. Head butt this. Yeah, I think a lot of times, and I've said this many times that men are so boring. Their lives are so mundane. If most men don't have like great hobbies, interests, things that bring them joy and that excitement in their life. They don't do it. They get it from women. Even the player types, they don't really have anything going on for themselves. They just go around sucking the energy out of women, women after woman after woman after woman, to entertain them and take them away from thinking about how fucked up their lives are and how fucked up they are as people. They don't want to think about that, so they divert their attention from how their grossness by woman after woman after woman. And in a situation like this, he's not doing that, but it's still exciting for him because she keeps a bunch of shit stirred up, and that's a lot of dudes I have found like that. A woman who's gonna throw shit at him and cuss at him and key his car, slice his tires. Drama. It just excites them because these dudes are incapable of providing that for themselves. They need it from women, and I've observed that. Over my life. I mean, I had some cousins. They lived with us. I was like 7, 8, 9 years old, and they were teenagers, and my dad was teaching them the building trade and contracting and stuff, so they would have a career. And because they was not going to get in nobody's college. I don't even know if they graduated from high school because they were just, little badasses. So my aunt sent them over with my daddy because he wasn't about that life. And he got them in line real quick. But, I just watched was something that women brought to their world. They didn't really have that. And so I noticed that about them. And there's a lot of men that I've seen since then. They're actually pretty boring individuals. Okay, so let's move on to question number 6 of 23. We got 23 questions if you missed it. 23 questions tonight on Savage Sunday. This is from a young man in the 26 to 29 age group from Las Vegas, Nevada. Oh, you haven't had a question there for a while. Hello, Miss Cooper. Thank you for taking my question because I really need a woman's advice, and my coworker suggested writing to you. She said you are very fair and will tell me the truth whether I like it or not, so here goes. Oh. I'm a 30-year-old man who has been in a relationship with a wonderful woman for the past 8 years, and we've been married for the last 5. We have a beautiful 3-year-old daughter, which makes my mistakes that much more painful. Don't ask me why, but I cheated on my wife. Oh, you dummy! The opportunity presented itself one night, and I foolishly succumbed. Oh, I just got chills down my spine. This was starting off so well. Okay, I can't even use the excuse that my wife was lacking in some way because she isn't, and I can admit that. I had an affair with an old family friend, and now she is pregnant. Call it stupidity, call it selfishness, call it letting my D overrule my common sense. I know there's no excuse for what I did, but I don't want to lose my family. My wife found out by looking through my phone and is now inconsolable. She will not talk to me, look at me, or acknowledge my existence in any way. She left to go stay with her best friend, and I have not seen her or my daughter for the last month. Yesterday, my wife sent me an email saying that she wants a divorce and nothing further to do with me. She even refuses to co parent with me after the divorce. She has given me the choice to have full custody of my daughter and is willing to pay child support, or she will raise her daughter and I will pay child support. She said 50-50 custody is not an option because she never wants to lay eyes on me again, that I made my choice when I broke my vows. Miss Cooper, please help me. Tell me what to say to my wife to get my family back. I want nothing to do with the woman I had an affair with, and I offered to pay for a termination to make this whole awful thing I did go away. And she has accepted my offer, as she does not want to bring a child into the world under these circumstances either. I know it will take time to regain my wife's trust, and I'm willing to do anything to keep my family together. If I could just reach my wife on an emotional level, I know I could convince her to forgive me. I know I don't deserve another chance, but I refuse to let her go. Any advice you can give a stupid and desperate man would be greatly appreciated. Oh, my heart breaks for both of you. I know. I mean, I could feel myself getting all choked up because I can just imagine myself in her position and the feelings, the shock of that, and then you know just running away because she was just so devastated. So first I have to give you the lecture. I don't know if anyone has done this, because I don't know who you told, but let me tell you this for this point forward and any other young man in your position. When you start a relationship that young, that kind of love that that woman had for you is one of a kind. And I think a lot of men don't understand that. And they, because I mean, we could date all kind of people, might even sleep with them. But if you love somebody to the point where you marry them and you this young and that's your boo thing, you married, you had a kid. I mean, it's like the fairy tale has come true. And all of a sudden, your Prince Charming turns out to be like the dark prince and he hurts you. That is devastating to a woman's very core and is really, really hard, if not impossible, to get past. I just want to warn you now. I'm going to give you some tips some things to try, but I cannot guarantee that they will work, and I cannot guarantee that you will get your family back. This is something that I want more men to understand. You break your woman's heart, you destroy that kind of trust, that she had for you, and then especially you don't even know why you did it, sir. Come on now. You do know. You need to admit it to yourself, if not to me, that you made a choice in that moment. You weren't thinking about your family. You wasn't thinking about your wife. You wasn't thinking about breaking her heart. You weren't thinking about anything like that. You was thinking about you and your dick. Come on now. This first step to getting this, back on track is you got to admit what you did and why you did it, okay? Because you can't get past all this by ignoring that reality. You have got to address it. What was going on in your head that made you think that that was a good idea in that moment? Own it, okay? That's called being accountable. The next step is you gonna go, you use your good old job health insurance, and you gonna get your little ass into some therapy. That's what you're going to do. You're not going to tell her right now. You're going to do it so that you've been in therapy for a couple of months, and then you're going to spill the beans that, I don't know. I decided to get some therapy because I made the most bonehead decision in the world, and I really need to understand what was going on with me that made me do that. I'm not expecting anything from you. This is a journey that I need to go on by myself. I can't believe I did that. You know what I mean? You gonna sing, honey. You gonna play every violin that was ever made on this planet. You gonna play them all. And but the main thing is you need to, right now you're just talking, I want to get her back. But what are you doing to show her that you're going to be a different person if she decides to give you a second chance. That's what I'm getting at. You have to do something that's going to be to show her, yeah, I know I fucked up. I'm taking charge of my life. I'm taking charge of what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna be a man about this. I own the shit I did, the mess I made, and I'm doing something about it. Whether you come back to me or not, I'm gonna be a different man on the other side of this. Okay, she can only do that. Well, yeah, the respect is gone, but that's what I'm saying. If he is going to really work on this, he's going to have to do something that, so different, so outstanding, that shows so much leadership and control and a true desire to become a better person and understand himself, all this kind of stuff. You're going to show her that not through words, because words are empty. That don't mean nothing. You're going to show her by what you're doing, what you're putting in place, the work that you're doing on yourself. You're going to go to counseling twice a week. Your little ass is going to be there every single time. You're not going to miss not one session. You're going to be honest. You're going to be forthright. You're going to talk about all kind of stuff, starting from your childhood on to, wait to where you got to arrive at the conclusion on that moment that that's what you were supposed to do, and that all the other life that you built up with this woman meant nothing in that moment. You have got to figure out what was going on with you that made you do that. Okay, I'm being very real right now. You don't have a chance in hell with this girl until you can arrive at that kind of understanding about yourself. Now, like I said, there's no guarantee that she's going to go for it. But this is more about you. You're the one that fucked up. You're the one to say you don't even know why you fucked up. So the person here who needs to do the work is you. Okay, so right now you're going to switch your focus from worrying about her and getting back with her to fixing yourself. So that if she should come back to you, you will be Johnny on the fucking spot. You will be like the model husband, the one that's in the dictionary under best husband. That's going to be your picture there. Okay, and you will never, ever, ever lie to her or hurt her ever again. But you're going to have to get some therapy before you understand where you went left. Okay, after all these years, where did what happened? What had happened did. I mean, I really want to know myself, and I want you to know, because you say you don't understand why you did it. There's a reason, and you need to uncover that reason. Okay. Well, he didn't worry about her pain when he was in that moment, but he's worried about it now. But see, that's what I think. There's so many men, if they would just remember my video, I did a video called "And Then What?" Maybe you should take a look at that. And it kind of encourages people to pause before you choose path path B or C or D or whatever, to take a moment and reflect. Okay, if I do that, then what's going to happen? What's going to happen next? And then what? And then what? And you go through that for each option. So if you had stopped for even 30 seconds and say, okay, if I do this and I get a disease or she gets pregnant, then what's going to happen? See, and you would have been up there like that thinking, that thought bubble would have come up with all this hell that you experiencing now. And you would have been like, oh no, this ain't worth it. I have pussy at home. Let me get my ass up out of here. You see what I mean? So it's like it's a part of maturity that everything that we do in life is a choice, sir. Everything. You have to own it by saying, I don't know why I did it. That just brushes it off. It makes you seem real immature and like, you know, it's not a good look. So it wouldn't inspire trust or belief in you as a man. You talk about you don't know. So I'm going to, those are my suggestions for you. I'm really, really sorry that this is happening to your wife and your daughter. Yeah, actually, I'm sorry it's happened to you too, but this is a growth opportunity for you. You may not end up with her on the other side of it, but it will be a good lesson for you to learn anyway. And remember, if your marriage breaks up, you don't have anybody to blame about it but yourself. So don't be trying to be mad at her and talking about you left me and all this old kind of stuff right here. Stalking a girl and acting a zip damn fool. Don't you dare. I have relatives in Las Vegas. Don't do that. You're going to handle yourself like a G, okay? Keep me posted. Send me an email. Let me know what happened. Survivingdating at gmail.com. Let's move on to question number 7. This is a female in the 26 to 29 age group from San Jose, California. Hi, Deb. I would first like to say that I appreciate everything you do for young women. I wish I knew about your channel 3 years ago when I met my ex. He is a 38-year-old white male from the South, and I am 29 and Middle Eastern. I went no contact with him 6 months ago after 2.5 years of constant abuse. He is a manipulator, a bully, a pathological liar, a narcissist, a cheater, and a complete and total abuser in every sense of the word, I'm sorry. But to everyone else, he was charming, charismatic, and a stand-up guy. Oh, the traditional narc. I won't get into the details of all that I endured in that relationship because this letter would be too long, and honestly, it's still triggering for me. Suffice it to say, gaslighting, verbal put downs, degradation, and battering were commonplace in our relationship. I know you think I'm an idiot for staying so long, but at the time I was weak and trauma bonded, and I totally own that. Anyway, 6 months no contact, and I feel like a different woman. I have invested so much in myself. I finally feel like the woman I was before. I met him. One of my favorite meetup events will continue to hold monthly meetups at a local cocktail bar. I'm so excited to go because I haven't seen any of these people since the pandemic started. It's been something I've been looking forward to for over a year, and I always enjoyed these meetings. Well, I saw that he's going to attend the meeting too, even though he never showed any interest before. On the one hand, I don't want to see his face. I don't want to hear the sound of his voice, and I don't want to be in the same room as him. But on the other hand, this is my thing. I feel like he's taking it away from me. It feels like if I don't go, he's still controlling me. I just want this one thing. Deb, what should I do? How can I make him not go without breaking no contact? I just want to enjoy my night in peace without the dread and anxiety and memories associated with his presence. Should I stay home? My friend suggested I go with another guy, but honestly, that won't change the fact that my ex will still be there. I know I probably sound petty, but I want this for myself without him there. Oh no, I totally get it. I totally get it. It's their way of low key stalking you to see what you're doing and all this kind of stuff. Now, wherever this place is being held, I'm sure they have security, right? So you alert the security that you had an acrimonious breakup with this individual, and you found out that this individual will be attending the event, even though he'd never been before. He's coming just to bother you, and make sure you show them a picture of him. Because they can ban him from coming into premises. They don't have to let him in. Just any private business, they all have them signs up that they can, deny service or entry to anybody for any reason. They don't need a reason. Just know the young lady doesn't feel safe with you here, sir. We're asking you to leave. He's not really a part of the thing anyway, right? Other people don't really know him. So he just coming there just to bother you. So that's one avenue that I would take, okay? The second is to make sure that you have a stun gun or some other kind of weaponry, I don't know, bear spray, whatever people use these days, on your personage at all times. Because you might really go traipse off to the bathroom and he try to follow you down the hall or something. You have some shit with you. The third thing is a person who suggested that you bring some other guy with you. That's a good idea. Either bring two female friends that you know ain't about the bullshit. Like, if I were your friend, I would happily go and be ready to clock dude with my brass knuckles. Something like that. Or you can bring, a guy or two and let them know what the deal is so they're not broadsided and, have them there too as backup. Whatever you do, you want to put stuff in place so that you can go to this event and you will have protections around you, people that he would have to go through to even get to you. That's what you want. If you leave the place and end up walking out by yourself, have the security guard or some big buff person to come and walk you to your car, and then you get in your car and then you leave. Now, a small bat ain't big enough. You need a good one. Yeah, bear spray. I would say no. She has to go. She cannot allow him to continue to control her life and to abuse her and make her have problems and take her joy. Yes, she needs to go. She needs to go everywhere she want to go, but she's got to go in a way, fully aware of the fact that he's trying to intimidate her and bully her, and she just can't let it happen. To just show him if you start hiding around and stuff, he's going to know he got you. And he's going to escalate because that's what bullies do. As soon as you act scared, they escalate their terror. As soon as you fight back and stand up to them, they sit their asses down because that's all part of their bullying is your fear. So, I didn't take bullying when I was a kid, and I don't see no reason to accept it as an adult. And that's what I'm telling you. I'm sorry you spent 3 years in this nonsense, or two, whatever it was, 2.5 years with this fool. I wish you would have had a better support system around you so you could have got out of this. As soon as he started showing his ass, you could have got out. But it doesn't matter. You're out now. You learned a valuable lesson. You're going to be a better woman for it. So look up, okay? Hold your head up high. Don't let him steal your joy. You enjoy going places and meeting these people and socializing with them. That's what you do. And you just make sure that you put some stuff in place, like I said, so that, if he gets jiggy, he going to have a problem. And I'm telling you, alert security, the bartender, whatever you need to do, so that if he shows up and starts acting stupid, they will already have San Jose's finest ready on speed dial and cart his ass up out of there for stalking. Okay, so you put all that in place and make sure you got 911 one button program on your phone. So all you got to do is hit it, and it's going to start calling. All right. Don't be sitting up there, 911, and then waiting for the answer and all that stuff. You program it on your phone, one button in your favorites. Let's move on to question number 8. Female, 26 to 29 from Los Angeles, California. My boyfriend is 45. I'm 28. Oh my God. That is too fucking old. He has a friend group that I strongly dislike. I don't dislike all of his friends, but I've actually become close with a few of them. He became friends with this group years before we even got together, and they bonded over being older, unmarried guys with no kids. They have a podcast together and hang out once a week to record it. He always asks me to tag along and hang out with them while they record, but I absolutely dread it and keep making excuses why I can't go. The problem is these guys, particularly one of them, are kind of assholes. They are rude, pervy, annoying, douchebaggy guys. They sound more like frat boys than middle-aged men. I know they dislike me. They always talk shit about me and make little snide comments and digs to my face behind my back to my boyfriend and in the podcast. My boyfriend says they're just kidding around, but some of the shit they say goes too far and it makes me uncomfortable. It bothers me that they're constantly disrespectful to me and he defends it. What? It makes me feel like he doesn't value me or our relationship. He doesn't. But what really bothers me is how my boyfriend acts completely different when he's around them. Normally, he's very sweet to me and we barely fight. Whenever he hangs out with them, he starts to talk and behave gross like them. It's led to fights between us, and I'm worried he's putting a strain on our relationship. Any advice how to deal with this? Yes, you put on your Nikes. You get your little bag. A hefty bag will do. Pack all your shit and leave. First of all, he's too old. Okay, he's too old for you. You're not even 30. And this dude is almost 50. What are you, these young girls with these ancient critters? I don't understand these crypt keeper ass dudes. Okay, then number 2 is you have a man who, that birds of a feather flock together. So you think these dudes are pervy, rude, and douchebaggy and all this kind of stuff. Your man is the same thing. That's who you dating. You're being stupid right now. You're noticing everything about this man and just how toxic and stupid he is. And yet you writing me on an advice letter on how you can get him to be different or how to deal with this. You don't deal with it. You put your 28-year-old self back in action with somebody closer to your age. And dude is no more than maybe 33. That's who you date. You don't date no man almost 50 years old with his old grandpa ass. And with all these douchey friends, he don't even make them stop. He don't shut it down. He just lets them do it. When they let the man do it, that means they agree with it. That's showing that he's in agreement with his friends. He cares more about what they think than about you. You need to understand what this means, little girl. Get your little ass up out of this situation. It's just like these ancient fucks, and they sit up there and want to be treating these girls all kind of stupid. Get rid of this fool. He's no good for you. And they all sitting there laughing at you because they're wondering where you gonna wake up and smell the coffee. You in a situation where you getting dogged out publicly on the airwaves in a podcast and you still there. Well, I'm not gonna go to the recording, but you still there with him. So after he goes and his friends dog you out and stuff, he comes home and taps that ass, and he's still getting all the benefits of being with you after letting them dog you like that and participating in it. I don't know what you thinking. Okay, he's supposed to shut that shit down. He's not supposed to be just defending them, and you stay with him. What's wrong with you, girl? If you don't break up with this fool, okay, anything else that happens to you after that, because you know it's just going to escalate. There's going to be a whole bunch of, they going to be talking about you and start showing your pictures and stuff on the podcast and talking about you and use your name and everything else. You better get away from this fool. Make your own podcast and talk about all your old ass boyfriend. You want to be on my show? Let's talk about his ass. It's like, oh yeah, this is somebody who used to date a man old enough to be her daddy. Let's talk about his fucking ass, you old freak. And him and his friends trying to gang up on a young woman. You know why they do that? Because they're old and dusty and they're jealous. Because they know that if you had better sense, they wouldn't be able to even smell your fart. But alas, I don't know how you were raised, that you don't seem to have very much value for yourself. But we're gonna fix that. You're gonna get away from him, and then we're gonna start working on your self-esteem. There's a lot of value in many videos here. You can look at any of the February 2021 videos. It's all about self-esteem and building yourself up. Start from day 1 and go through day 28, and you watch all of them about how to establish yourself as a woman and work on your self-esteem and self-confidence, because you don't seem to have much. You don't seem to have much self-regard that you're going to be with a man who lets his friends talk to you like that, and he just participates in it. You should have been out the first day he did this shit. Just stupid. He is garbage. That's why they all still single. And I would remind them, you're going to die single because you're old and ugly and you got a fucked up attitude. Nobody want to be with you. Y'all going to be holding each other's dicks in a nursing home. That's what you're going to be doing, trying to help each other pee with your prostate problems and your old saggy skin. Old ass motherfuckers. Ooh. Oh, they smell like mothballs and Big Gay. Oh, old ass men. Huh, T? Get away from this fool. You wasting your youth and beauty on him. This is ridiculous. I just don't like old men. That's the thing. I'm old myself. I still don't like them. They stupid. They just something wrong with them. They be talking crazy and acting worse. I cannot. You know what I'm talking about. This is a big no. Ooh, if I saw my daughter trying to date some man 50 years old, I cannot even imagine how many times I would run him down with my Honda. Honey, Honda would be in motion like there is no tomorrow. Popping wheelies and shit to run his ass down. You're not going to be ruining my daughter's life, motherfucker. No. Let's move on to question number 9. We got 23 questions. Female, 18 to 21, from Bergen Hill, West Sussex, England. My boyfriend and I, we're both 19, have been dating for 2.5 years now. I'm a first-year medical student, just about to enter my second. As part of the course, we're supposed to study gross anatomy soon. Ugh, anatomy, physiology, and what's that one where you cut open frogs? I didn't like none of those classes. A few weeks ago, I told my boyfriend that even the pictures of the cadaver that my professor showed to the class as a reference unsettled me, so I wasn't sure how I'd react to seeing it in person. This is when he got strangely excited and asked to see the pictures. What? At the time, I assumed it was just curiosity and explained that I can't do that. He then got strangely upset with me. I apologized and we moved on. Flash forward to yesterday, he seemed fidgety and nervous, as if he wanted to tell me something but was hesitating. I asked him what was wrong, and he eventually confessed that he found out that he liked watching popcorn about necrophilia. Okay, it's like I said, it's one in every column. Am I being targeted for these kind of weirdo freak people? I don't remember getting letters like this for like the last 6 months or so. It's like one every week. Okay. He emphasized that he had only watched the quote pretend version and had never once thought of seeking out the real thing. He repeated this very seriously multiple times. He said he felt so guilty about it and that hated himself for it. I told him I needed time to process, and after not talking to him for about a day, he asked me to call him, so I did. He was very upset and was rambling about how I was going to leave him, and then sort of blamed it on me. He said that I talked about cadavers too much, and then he grew interested in it himself. But I'd never talked to him about it before, except that one time about the pictures. He also said that he didn't want to see the pictures for his own kinks, but because he was genuinely curious at the time. We agreed on just taking a break from each other, and he said he'll check up on me in a few days. I'm honestly grossed out, but I also feel bad for him. I'm not sure how to proceed. You don't. You leave his dead body motherfucking ass in the wind. That's what you do. Can you imagine going and telling your parents, "Oh, I have a new boyfriend and he likes fucking dead people." That's what you're talking about? I'm like trying to understand why this you even wrote me. The only thing you should have sent me was Deb. Let me tell you about this motherfucker that I just broke up with. This freak, this weirdo pervert. He's so weird. I didn't even know this motherfucker could be this weird. Let me tell you, Deb. Let me tell you what had happened to it. That's the letter that I should have been getting from you, not this. Oh my God, girl, can you imagine? Can you imagine? And he need to go no, because even then he wouldn't be get to work anymore because he would be doing something. He would, what they call it, desecrating the bodies, and he would get fired. So but that would probably turn him on. He'd be in some utility closet enjoying himself, because of his overwhelming excitement at all them dead bodies. But I'm like this, I for the life of me, I'd be trying to figure out what happens to people that make them freaks like this. What happened to you in your life that made you think this was a good idea? And that this was something that you should do and even talk about or participate in or look at online or anything else. Where do they do that at? Is my question. I don't understand this. And you laid everything out, but let me tell you something, young lady. You're 19, you're still a kid. Anything that teen in it, to me, is still a kid. Okay, even at 20, that's you kind of on the verge. And at 21, you can go in a bar, you can drink and all that kind of stuff. So you still, to me, you're still in childhood, just an older child. So this is not anything that you should be dealing with at all. You should be concentrating on making good marks in your medical program, your pre-med, okay? That's where you should be. That's what you should be focusing on. You should not be thinking about this dust bucket right here with his freaky proclivities. This is crazy. You know, you said you needed a break. I would, if I were you, I would block him so that he could understand the break is permanent. I'm not going to talk to you. I don't want to see you. I don't want to look at you. I don't want to hear from you. I want to forget that you even exist on this planet. And if you call me again, I'm going to call your mother and I'm going to tell her. Your son likes fucking dead people. So she thinking she got such a wonderful son. I'm about to tell her about your ass. So leave me alone. Understand? Don't you ever call me again, or that's my next call. So then he'll stop. He'll leave you alone. You don't have to worry about him. And I sure would tell her too. 'Cause you lady, you thinking you raised somebody who's so over fabulous. Let me tell you about your raggedy ass son. No, she don't need to tell the school. She's the pre-med student. She says they're both students, but she didn't say anything about him being pre-med. She said I am a first year, about to go into the second year. She didn't say anything about him being a student or anything else. She just said they're both 19. You got confused. Let's move on to question number 10, male, 30 to 35 from Berkeley. A good friend of mine chose me as his best man a few months ago, and I was 100% down for it. Since then, life happened. I've been preoccupied with my two businesses starting back up due to COVID restrictions lifting. On top of that, my father fell ill and is in the hospital. I feel like I'm not doing my part as a best man should. No, strike that. I know I'm not. I rarely have time to even think clearly for a second with everything else going on. My father is also in Europe, and there might be a chance I'll have to go and essentially say goodbye. The thought breaks my heart and I feel a sense of dread and panic. Yeah, I've been feeling quite overwhelmed, stressed, and bothered that I'm not doing my part. I feel he should choose someone else as his best man. However, I'm unsure how to handle this and bring it up to him. However, I would like to give him some money, maybe 3,000 to put towards his wedding, as I know that's been his stress. Any suggestions on how to go about that? Yeah, you put the $3,000 on a Visa card. You can get it at your bank, and you put it in a card, and you write your sentiments about, how much you love him and how what an honor it was. I know this kind of stuff is hard for men to express this. That's why it's easier if you write it. Say, dude, I just wish you nothing but the best. And I'm really sorry that I can't be there for you right now the way that I would want to. But here's, use this towards your wedding or honeymoon, whatever you want to do. I wish you and your wife the best. And then you're going to bow out because right now you need to be concentrating on your grieving thing or helping your dad get better, whatever the deal is. If he's in Europe, you'll be responsible for going to his house, cleaning the house out. If there's something property to sell or whatever, lease. I don't know what you're going to do, but you have a lot on your plate. You didn't say if you have siblings and all that that would be helping you if you're an only child. It's gonna be you. You headed up a rough clip right now, and there's no um, you don't have the time and the energy to divide yourself from grieving and being responsible for your dying father and then trying to be joyous and happy and excited about your friend's wedding. Your father is your blood and you are his son. You need to handle that. The other thing is he can get somebody else to stand in him for best man. He knows your heart is with them, but you just can't be there right now for him. And that's what you need to do. Okay. You've got to uh, alleviate the responsibilities and the stress where you can, and you can't do it with your dad in his situation. You got to be there for that. So this is the thing that you can cut out. That's just the way it is. That's how you're going to do it, okay? And you give it to him, and then he'll have questions. So then you can break down and tell him, all these details. But that's how I would suggest that you do it. Since you seem to have a hard time finding your words to say it verbally, you just write it and put the gift, the money, the card, the bank card, into the card that you write. Okay, that's what you should do. Wow, that's so sad, and you're so young. All right, let's move on to question 11. This is a female in the 30 to 36 age group from Burlington, Vermont. Hello, Miss Deb, and shout out to Candace and Shay. Shay, you got to shout. How would you handle a friend who disagrees with everything that you say? A conversation with my friend, quote, Karen, I like how she chose that name, can literally go like this, colon, me. Wow, the sky is really an unusual color of blue. Karen, well, it's not really blue. It's more like purple with streaks of gray. And the color isn't that unusual either. When I traveled to France, the sky was always this color. This is a made up example, but exactly the type of conversations that we have. She disagrees and states her opinions as a fact, then gives a silly example of why her opinion is right. Ugh, she would get on my fucking nerve. She has good qualities that I appreciate, but this aspect of her personality makes her unpleasant to be around. I've taken a huge step back from her and have been limiting my interactions. How would you handle this? I don't know if she's like this with everyone or just me. I also wonder if it's subtle disrespect of me. Thank you so much. How would I handle it? Oh, she would have got told. Because it's, my thing is, okay, the first time I might have made note of it. The second time I'd have been like side eye. Okay, by the time she did it the third time, I would have had to say something, if not the second time. Like, why do you do that? What is it that you want to feel so fucking superior to me about that you're going to try to discount and argue about every single thing I say and try to one up and show me that you know more about what I'm talking about than I do? Where's that shit coming from? Okay, that's how I'm very direct. Some people say it's confrontational. Whatever you want to say. One thing I would not do, though, is deal with this shit. And, you taking a step back from her, I mean, that's fine, but that's not really solving the problem, which is why you're writing to me because you didn't say what you need to say. You being passive. That's not gonna work. You're a grown ass woman. Get off your ass and speak up. You need to check this hoe. and say, stop doing you don't you ever talk to me like that. If I say something, then that's the way it is. I had to do that with a girl at my job. This little girl, I don't know, she started working there, and I sent out an email to the whole staff, and then she's like, sent out something else that said, well, ignore, no discount or ignore something like that, that email, and we're going to do this and this and that here. I ripped her up one side and down the other. I'm like, as long as you live, don't you ever fucking do anything like that to try to dismiss what I say. What I say goes. That's it. Now you have something else you want to do, you're supposed to come to me. You don't go sending everybody an email telling them to discount what I say like you so fucking important. I tore her ass up. And it wasn't like, what's she going to say? Because it was a private conversation. So even though I used hella profanity, what's she going to say? She cussed at me. And I would say, no, I didn't. I was talking in a firm tone of voice. She may have taken it that way, but that's not what I said. You think I'm stupid? I'm not going to do it in written form or nothing. I cussed her bitch ass out, though. And I bet you after that, she was Johnny on the spot. I don't play that. You are not gonna contradict me. Anything I say, you don't have to agree, but you're not gonna tell this shit here. Well, no, because blah blah blah. Blah. No, bitch, I said it, and that's the way it fucking is. You don't like it, take your ass on. I don't like that kind of stuff. She's a color detective. She's more like a color defective. I don't know how you could be friends with somebody, but that's how you have to be direct with people like this. She may not even be aware of that, that that's what she's doing. But, you let her know. That shit gets on my fucking nerves. I don't feel like being bothered with you, and I'm sure other people don't either, because you're just so fucking contradictory and negative about everything. Trying to make yourself seem like you miss know it all and everything is that everybody else's thoughts and opinions are not as good as yours are. You know? Yeah, this chick, oh, she was not a sister. But after that, she got a little taste. And she's like, oh, I don't want you to be mad at me. I said, too late. Okay. That shit pissed me off. But I'm like, I don't hold a grudge. I'm like, I blow up and I say what I'm going to say and then I'm done. I'm like, did you understand what I said? Well, yeah. Are you going to have a repeat of that? No. What you going to do? Well, next time if I have something, I'll come to you. Very good. Matt, is the problem solved? I'm laughing and joking the rest of the day. But I just needed to let her know because she was getting a little bit too big for her britches. And sometimes, when people are not, you just never know if you're the black person in a position of power and you got somebody challenging you like that, that's not black. You know what I mean. It adds a little extra flavor to it that I was not having. Plus, I'm old enough to be her mother. I'm like, little bitch, you done lost your mind. I don't know what your problem was, but I haven't been doing much contract work since the COVID stuff, so. I guess I'll be going off on somebody else soon enough. Now that all the restrictions are getting lifted, I'll be back out there. But ooh wee. Question number 12. This is a female in the 30 to 35 age group from Hamilton, New Zealand. My brother is nearly 25 and has been with his girlfriend since they were 17. Oh, wow. She has a chaotic home life, so pushed to buy a house and he went along with it. He cheated on her by kissing someone else about 5 years ago, and things are very up and down since. They barely spend that much time together during lockdown. He says he loves her, but I don't think he really does. He confided in me that he met a woman at work and he's been having, my words, a relationship with her for 6 months. He says it started as friends, and she's wonderful. They have so much in common. She's beautiful and supportive of him in a way he can be honest about. His girlfriend has never been supportive or he's not been comfortable enough to tell her. They've not slept together, but they talk every day 24/7. He moved into a house with girlfriend about a month ago and he doesn't seem happy. I think he loves her, but in a different kind of way. To me, if you have feelings for someone else like that, you aren't in the right relationship, right? Oh, that's it? Uh, yeah, it sounds like, they're not even married. That's his girlfriend. He got with her when he was 17. He was a kid, and so was she. People change so much in the 20s. That's why I tell people all the time, this your 20s is not the time to be making life decisions about, your partners and getting married and having kids and all that kind of stuff. You should not be doing that until you're closer to 30 and your mind has matured. At 17, 18, 20, you're still a kid. You don't know anything yet. Who you going to be, the person you're going to be at 25, 30, 35 is not who you are at 17, 18 years old. So you try to make decisions and you thinking that's going to project long term. It rarely, like 99.9% of the time, does not work out that way because people grow and change as they mature. I mean, it just that's life. That's what happens. So he kissed somebody 5 years ago, and things have been up and down ever since. But she decided to stay with him even though he did that. Right? That was a violation. And now he's been dealing with this other chick for 6 months. So is he in the right relationship? No, and I'm gonna tell you that for two reasons. One is your brother's a lying ass cheating motherfucker. Okay, just accept the fact that's what he does. Your brother, he loves to cheat. Okay, now would he cheat on a new woman? Who knows? But he is a cheater. Okay, he's already established himself as being that kind of dude. Because if he really was a person of honor, he would have broke it off with the other chick and not bought the house and made a commitment with her and then just went on about his business. But that's not what he did. He decided to cheat. Okay, so your brother's a cheater. Okay, then number two is, he's raving on and on about this other chick, but he still got the other relationship going on. So that means he's emotionally cheating, even if he hasn't, cheated in a physical sense yet. He's emotionally cheating with this other woman from his job. So all in all, I can't say that he's in the wrong relationship because it might be that the part about the relationship that's wrong is your brother. You know, I can't really say whether he would be better with the other woman or not. I mean, it sounds like they have a lot in common, but if they actually got together as a couple, he might end up cheating on her too, because he's just that type of dude. And he don't close one door before he opens up another one, and that shit to me is tacky. That's not how you handle yourself if you're gonna be a responsible adult. Tell the girl that you want to break up. She can buy him out on the house, or they can sell the house and split the proceeds. Whatever is gonna work. But that relationship, I don't even know why she's still there. Yeah, he just all over the place. Just all over the place. Question number 13, female, 22 to 26 from Charleston, South Carolina. For some background, we're 23 and 25 and have been together for about 6 months. That's it? I've never loved anyone this much. Girl, you've been reading too many Harlequin romance novels. He is attentive and affectionate and always lets me know how important I am to him and does incredibly kind things without me even needing to ask. However, since spending more and more time together, I notice he drinks almost constantly. For example, we will have a couple of drinks on a Sunday and he will finish any leftover drinks before work on Monday morning before he goes to work. Or he will begin on Saturday morning by pouring a drink and he will just continue all day. He never gets blackout drunk or belligerent. Last night I spent the night at his place and he had a huge water bottle full of tequila and soda, but I didn't notice. However, after a couple of hours, I realized he looked a bit dazed. He has major issues with insomnia, so I asked him if he was okay. He got very upset and said he hates being asked that question. After some prying, he explained that he doesn't want me to think he isn't okay because then he feels he won't be good enough for me. It seemed like a strange reaction until I realized he had been drinking what I thought was water, but wasn't. Then I noticed an empty bottle of tequila under the bed that had been unopened the night before and realized he'd probably been drinking all day. Why wouldn't he use a glass? Why hide that? I know alcohol is a depressant, and that, coupled with his depression and some unresolved trauma, makes me think his drinking is more concerning than I had previously considered. After this strange disagreement last night, he had been distant and unaffectionate, either perhaps out of shame or anger or something else. He won't look at me, hug me, or answer my texts. I'm wondering if it's an overreaction on my part to be so alarmed by the fact that such a benign question was met with such an enduring distress reaction, and what role his drinking and depression might be playing in this. Why would he resort to putting me out and being cold? How do I let him know that I'm here for him without making him react in a similar way? You don't be there for him. You're 23 and you got yourself lined up with a alcoholic. Okay, this guy is not just an alcoholic, he's a solid drunk. Staying drinking all day, for all weekend. And you trying to wrestle around your mind about this being, you've never loved anyone this much. Did you ever consider the fact that you have some kind of problem? Why you would think that this is such a perfect man? He's a drunk, okay? He's a drunk. His life is going to be, if it's not already, is headed down the path of death and destruction because he drinks before he goes to work. That means he's drinking before he gets in his car and drives. He's going to end up in an accident and killed, or he's going to kill somebody else, or he's going to wrap his car around a tree or something and be paralyzed. And then who's supposed to take care of him? You? Get out. Get out now. There's no future with a drunk. There's no future with a druggie. There's nothing. There, you're not his woman. That bottle is his woman. That's who he loves. It's not you. So I mean, I know this is some harshness. You need to go over to Al-Anon, which is design. It was designed for the children of alcoholics, but the spouses couldn't participate as well, the mates, girlfriends, and that. And educate yourself about alcoholism. This is a fast train to the ends of the earth in hell that you're on. This is never going to go anywhere. And at 23 years old, you are way too young for this bullshit. Cut ties with this fool. Let him go and drink himself into an early grave because that seems to be where he's headed. Because he's going to have kidney failure, liver failure, all kind of shit's going to go wrong. His heart's going to be damaged with all that liquor. He's going to be a fucked up person. He's only 25 now. But if he makes it to 50 at this rate, it'll be a fucking miracle. Okay? Get rid of him. Get out of this situation. Save yourself and stop worrying about some grown man. He has a mother, and it ain't you. Question number 14. This is a male in the 25 to 29 age group from Washington, D.C. Hey, Auntie Deb. I'm 25 and have gotten back into the dating game recently and feel like I keep running into the same issue of feeling like the girls I'm with. Huh? They come out of the gate applying pressure and have these very serious and long term expectations they push on me before I even really get a chance to know them. Oh, I see what he means. For me, I feel like 2 to 3 months is a reasonable amount of time to get to know someone and like them enough to put a label on things. Am I off base here? Is there a way where I can say I want to take things slow without seeming like I'm leading them on? I'm open to all perspectives from you and the ladies of the squad, so don't hold back. Oh, you ain't ready, nigga? You ain't ready. Let me tell you why. Because, see, this is you on some bullshit right now. Unless you keeping your dick in your pants for these 2 or 3 months while you make this decision about, put a label on things, then you full of shit. You must have thought I was born yesterday. You want to tap into all the benefits of having a girlfriend and commitment and all that, but you don't want to give it. Fuck this shit. I'm going to just tell you this straight right now. Either you tell them from the beginning, I want to take it slow, and that means you keep your dick in your pants. Okay, you ain't getting your dick wet with some girl that wants a commitment and then you try to put her on hold. You full of shit. Okay, so you say you want to be saying, well, that I need 2 or 3 months because that's a reasonable time to be put, to know someone and like them enough to put a label on things. That's right. That is a good idea, but that includes no fucking. Okay, so you don't get both. You don't get to pick and choose and dib and dab. It's like them folks that's what I call convenient Christians. They go and cherry pick which parts of the Bible and that they gonna the 10 Commandments that they gonna adhere to, and then they fuck everything else and want to run around in your face telling you they such a devout Christian, lying bitches. So you on that same boat. Well, I don't want a commitment, that's too soon. They putting pressure on me. I bet you your ass is pressuring them for some pussy too, ain't you? So this is what it is. You got to walk the walk and talk the talk, sir. I'm not going to allow you to be, to come at me with this bullshit like this and think I'm going to take you seriously. You on one right now. You wrote to the wrong person with this bullshit. So, either you going to give them a commitment and you going to fuck them, or you going to stay single and be by yourself and wait them 2 or 3 months. And then you start getting busy once you decide that you want that to be your girlfriend. Pick one. That's how it is. Otherwise, don't be complaining when they start jamming you up for a commitment. Deal with it. That's what grown men do. They make decisions and they deal with all the repercussions thereof. Because, you boning her and stuff, and she be up there getting pregnant, and I bet you your ass won't be talking about, oh, it's 2 or 3 months, before I make a commitment. Your commitment was made when you jetted out them little swimmies. Now you're going to be somebody's daddy. You should have thought about all of that. Because, even the best birth control rate methods have a failure rate. So even if she's taking it exactly what she should be doing and doing everything, there's always that opportunity for one to make it by and fertilize an egg, and then you're going to be somebody's daddy. So you don't go fucking women that you don't want to be the mother of your kids. If more men did that and were more responsible in that way, there would be a whole bunch of less kids out here being born to dad fathers that don't want to be bothered with them and crazy, stupid ass mamas. Somebody don't meet your standards, you don't fuck her. Okay, she's some little hood rat, welfare recipient, Section 8 bitch, and you ain't got you up there working in corporate America and stuff, but you making $200,000 a year. What are you doing? And so then she get pregnant, she's tapping your ass for $20,000 a month in child support, and then you mad. You did that to yourself. You should have kept your dick in your pants, and you wouldn't have had that problem. He ain't no kind of player because he whines too much. Players don't whine. They just do what they need to do, and they don't come writing to me, a woman, about what they do. They own it. They got babies. They pay that child support. They know what they did. This is bullshit right here, sir. Question number 15, female, 21 to 25, from Pembroke Pines, Florida. Ooh, never heard of it. So I recently turned 21, and I just got a job at a club that I always wanted to work at, and worked hard to let everyone know. And worked hard to know someone that can help me get that job. Now that I finally got it, everyone feels the need to tell me how I will not handle it well, that it's too little money, that I won't be able to work because it's too hard, and I should do this or that instead. Like, instead of working as a waiter, I should be a cashier because it's more of a girl's job. Please. Them tips, if you work it right and you cute, you can get all kinds of money in tips. Big tips. I'm studying to work as a navigation officer on passenger ships. Oh, look at you. And no one believes in me. Again, because that's a man's career and I should be a nurse or something. I'm so annoyed. Like no one congratulate me or wish me good luck or at least shut their mouth if they don't have anything positive to say. Now I'm questioning everything I ever wanted or worked for because I'm so influenced by my friends and family. Anyway, I'm going to start tomorrow night, but I'm not that excited anymore. Sometimes I wonder if I was a tall and muscular man if they would say the same thing. What do you think I should do to be more respected, especially in the workplace, but also with friends? I respect myself and keep boundaries, but I can't seem to escape this problem. You're not going to. When I was real young like that, I ran into the same thing. People who are older look at you as a young person and feel like you don't know what you're doing. And most of the time we don't, but we think we do. So you're going to operate on the fact that you think you do. And the first, since you're 21, you're a grown woman now and you're fully capable of making your own mistakes and making your own decisions and making any mistakes and suffering any repercussions as well as any benefits that come from those decisions. That is what grown women do. So in a case like this, when people say all those kind of things, you're supposed to hold up your hand and say, stop talking. If you're not going to say nothing positive, I want you to shut up and don't say nothing to me. That's a Deb move. I shut everybody in my family down. And they was like, well, we don't think. Did I ask you what you think? I didn't ask you. So don't be volunteering because your opinion has got about this much importance to me right about now. I don't care what you think. Keep it to yourself. Y'all can talk amongst each other when I'm gone. But as far as me hearing it, I don't give a fuck what you think. Never have and never will. And so, I don't know how savage you are, if there's something that you would want to say, but that's what you asked me what I would do. That's what I would do. And now, as far as, and the other thing, as you get more mature, you prove yourself, those voices will quiet down too, because they'll be like, oh, well, she young, but she got her shit, she know what she doing. She got her shit together. And they'll show you a different kind of sign of respect. But right now, they don't know you. You don't have a track record. Right now, this is just something that you wanted, and the dream is finally coming. You haven't even been there for one day yet. So for all you know, you could get in there and just say, oh, hell no, this is not at all what I thought it was going to be. So, they could have a point where they're actually correct. But In general, though, like I said, you just, if you don't want to hear it, no matter what it is, you just tell them, I don't want to hear that shit. Keep it to yourself. When I want your opinion, I'll give it to you. But until then, just keep your fucking opinion to your fucking self and leave me out of your conversations about what you think. Because I don't care what you think. Who told you you could think? And I was like, who said that you have that skill set to think? I kind of insulting things. I've said some horrible things to people. But, what happens though is they leave me alone. So if that's what you want, if that's your end result, yeah, I fucked up. Sometimes I made some horrible mistakes or choices or whatever. But you know what? I laughed. I got my ass up, dusted myself off, and went on back to, did what I needed to do to get back on track. And that's what grown women do. So as long as you're willing to, you know, to do that and handle your business in that respect, and keep it moving, then good for you. Don't worry about them. Question number 16. This is a female in the 18 to 21 age group from Providence, Rhode Island. I am confused and need advice about my boyfriend's older sister. I am 19 and have been dating a 19-year-old dude for the last few months. At first, I wasn't really around his sister. She's 21, much, but a couple of months in, she started coming around all the time. I wouldn't mind her hanging out, but she stays for long periods of time and she barely speaks to me unless I speak to her first. Most of the time, it's just a lot of fun conversation between her and my boyfriend. They have routines together and she is always there. I feel like I'm in competition with her. I'm pushed to the side because I feel she's always going to be more of an important priority. She used to be nice to me, but this most recent event had given me wrong and disrespectful vibes and made me feel wrong for being there. I also think she says certain things that prolongs her time of being around us just to rub me the wrong way. I've never been nothing but nice to her, so I don't understand. She has also walked in on us twice because she walks into his room as if it were her own. And if we want to be intimate, we have to see if she's home or when she's coming home, so we don't have incidents of her walking in. She makes me feel dull about my relationship. She sees him all the time and does more things with him than I do. I get that she's protective and they have a strong bond, but she's wedging her way into my relationship like she's a part of it. This has blocked me from being truly open and comfortable with my boyfriend. I don't think he sees a problem with it because he's used to it, and I'm fearing having a conversation with him about it because of their bond. Any advice? Either he comes to your house for your intimate moments, or that lazy motherfucker puts a lock on his bedroom door. How hard is that? I don't know any 19-year-old man, 20 years old, who that doesn't have a lock on his door. She shouldn't be able to just come barging into his room because she wants to. What's wrong with him? Your boyfriend sounds stupid. Then he doesn't even have any boundaries. Like, sis, you need to leave because I'm trying to have some time with my lady. I love you and stuff, but a man's got needs. Get out. Stuff like that. He's not putting up any boundaries with her. So all in all, this situation here is one that you can't win this. And if it were me, I know before I left I would have to make it stink because then I would tell dude, look, this is some weirdo shit. Is your sister trying to fuck you or what? What's she trying to do here? Because every time we be trying to get busy, here she is popping herself into the room like she want to watch or some shit. Is she trying to have a threesome? I would say all kind of foul, funky stuff. It just have him like going, how can you say such thing? Well, I'm just wondering because she showed me every time we try to get busy, she still would be trying to find a way to interrupt. So it's making me wonder: is she either want to join us, or she want to fuck you herself, or does she want to fuck me? It's one of them three things. It can't be nothing else. So you think about it and call me when you decide what you gonna do, cause I'm out. I don't be messing with that shit. And then I would be like out. One thing, even at 19, I wasn't gonna be messing with nobody who was all stuck up on his family like that. Being ruled by them and his sister and stuff. Oh, hell to the no. So that's what I would do. Yeah, it's a blood sister. She's 21 and he's 19. But this is ramped up. So it's like I said, either she's attracted to you, young lady, or she want to fuck her brother, or she's jealous because you fucking her brother, or she want a threesome. It's got to be one of those things. It can't be nothing else. So you all need to think about, I don't know what the girl is. But even if she's sitting there watching, that's still a threesome because she's, in the room and stuff. And that's just weird. So, I mean, any way you look at this situation is some unsavory shit going on. But unless your boyfriend checks his sister, it's going to continue. He don't even take the first passive step to putting a lock on his door. So she can't come in just unannounced. But, he hasn't done anything. So either he comes to your place and y'all do everything, you hang at your house more, y'all get a motel room or something. I don't know what you're going to do. But one thing that you're not going to be able to do, as long as his sister's roaming free, is have a nice relationship. So if he doesn't want to do anything about his sister, then leave him alone, because he's still a kid, and you need a man. Question number 17. This is a female in the 26 to 29 age group from St. Louis. I bartend for my job, and I recently started wearing a fake wedding ring to work because I had a problem with drunk men harassing me. The fake ring helps stop that before they even start. Just so you know the full story, my boyfriend is 32, I'm 27, and he is fully aware of my fake ring and why I wear it to work. We've been together for 2 years and we live together, and though we talk about our future, we haven't spoken about marriage yet. Okay, so after work the other day, I met up with my boyfriend and some of his male friends, and I forgot to take off my fake wedding ring. The next day, my boyfriend told me he was super uncomfortable with that and that it gave him anxiety because he was concerned about what to say if one of his friends asked about the ring. I told him, I'm sorry, but what's wrong with telling the truth and just say it's a fake ring I wear at work to negate weirdos? He said sure, but was pretty upset and told me not to do that again. I would wear that ring every fucking place I went. Every time I saw him, I would have that ring on. I now feel both upset and annoyed, but I'm unsure if it's out of line on my part or maybe I did actually fuck up by wearing the ring out. I'm not sure what to do or how to respond to him. What should I say? You should say it was a mistake. Number two, I wear it to work, which you already know. Number three, if you so worried about your boys and what they gonna say, then what you want me to do? You should be fucking them then. Because that's what that means. You ain't even man enough to tell him, yeah, all these motherfuckers are trying to get at my fine ass woman at her job. And so she wears this to, kind of fend him off. That's all he had to say. But he's too much of a little bitch to say that, worried about what his friends think. Well, my friends might ask me. My friends might want to know why you have this ring on. Ooh, don't do that anymore. No, I'm going to wear it everywhere I go. I'm going to wear it everywhere. I'm going to wear it in my sleep. I'm wearing it in the shower. I'm going to wear it when I'm fucking you. I'm going to wear it to work. I'm going to wear it to church. I'm going to wear it to everywhere, walking up and down the street. I'm going to wear it when I'm online shopping. I'm going to wear it when I go to the grocery store. I'm going to wear this fake wedding ring everywhere just for that. I hope I run into some of your friends so I can wave it around and say, yes, I have a wedding ring. And guess what? Your boy didn't give it to me either. It's from another man. I would just wear him out. You be coming at me like that. You are so nice because I would have straight cussed his fucking ass out. Nothing about how you protecting yourself, the risks that you faced, and why you even had to do this, and why it was necessary. Nothing like that. Nothing to defend you. He's gonna try to make you wrong because of his friends. That's who he needs to be fucking in. Because I say men who worry too much about what other men think about them, they got some kind of gay proclivities going on. Nothing wrong with gay people, but just own what you are. Don't be trying to pass yourself off as straight dealing with women when you really in love with men. Because those opinions vary more and more to you than your woman's. So yeah, he would have got cussed out. Straight cussed out. This kind of shit here irritates me. This kind of man like this does not have your back. I hope you understand what he just showed you. See, this is a thing I think that's really young women don't understand. You look at a behavior and you just isolate it to that one incident. You don't look at what that behavior means in the big picture. That's where I come in. That's where some you older women with life experience, even like parents and stuff, can kind of explain to you what you take as an isolated incident of certain behaviors and thinking, what that means in the grand scheme of things. What you have is a man who cares more about what other men think about his, I don't know, his ego or his power over you or whatever, than he does your safety and your needs. All he had to do was lean over and whisper to you, babe, you still got your ring on. You could have discreetly taken it off. He had all kind of other ways to handle this other than being a little bitch. and trying to, complain like and whine and shit like that at 32. And that's how he's acting. He would have got smooth cussed out. I want to cuss him out for you, little bitch. Question 18. This is from a young woman in the 18 to 21 age group from Montreal, Canada. I need advice on how to not get personally offended when someone unfollows me. What you mean online? This is a pretty unhealthy habit, but my self esteem does kind of drop when I see my follower count has dropped, especially after I posted something. I stopped myself from using an app that tracks down who unfollowed you because I would have pretty bad assumptions about why they unfollowed me and get personally offended. How do I stop caring? Candace, please don't put letters like this in my column anymore because I cannot stand this kind of stupidity. Little girl in the 18 to 21 age group, you ought to have more going on in your life that's of value and importance that's like, you know, advancing your mind, your goals, your health, your future, something sensible than worrying about something like this. This is like first world problems. This basically means you don't have a problem. You just create one out of thin air. So you go, this is something where you felt like this is something so bad that you needed to write an advice column that's about. I'm going to tell you one thing now. Just listen carefully to this. Listen carefully to this. You're stupid. Okay, you're stupid. I don't know what else to tell you. I can't even hold back and be polite about it. This is stupid. You ain't getting no money out of this. They ain't paying you. They're not bringing you wealth, riches, education, progress, political influence and power. Nothing. You get no benefit from this. To worry about some random strangers who follow your account on a social media site and you putting energy into that shows that you are just dumb. I don't know what else to tell you. Get offline, get your head in some books, learn something, develop some real hobbies and interests, something that's going to develop you as a person. Because this right here is stupid. Yeah. I'm trying to tell you, this is some bullshit. It's people out here trying to figure out where they're going to live and homeless and about to get evicted, don't have no food, all kind of stuff is happening. They're getting cheated on, beaten on, their kids getting, abducted off the streets, all kind of shit's going on in the world. And your biggest problem is who unfollows you on social media, people you don't even fucking know. That's the extent of your worries. Enjoy your little white life, okay? Enjoy that. It must be nice to be a white girl in Montreal, Canada, without shit to worry about except for that. This is stupid. Question number 19, female 30 to 35 from Rochester, New York. Do you have any thoughts about why men I meet on dating apps ask for more pictures before meeting me in person? I'm 30 and have 5 pictures on my Hinge profile. I don't even know what that is. 2 are close ups of just my face, 2 have my whole body. One is kind of an action shot, and you can't really tell what I look like in that because I have a helmet on. I've been texting a guy, 31, that I met on the site for a couple of days, and he says, quote, also, do you have other pictures of yourself other than what you posted on the app? I feel like I can only make you out in one of your pics, LOL, end quote. I have no idea why, but this drives me crazy. I guess I feel like they're not asking me to send them pictures so they can judge if I'm cute or not. Also makes it seem like the only thing they care about is what I look like. It feels disrespectful to ask. How should I respond, if at all? Should I straight up tell them I have tons of pictures, but I don't send pictures to men I haven't met? Should I offer to FaceTime maybe? I was interested in him before this happened, but now I don't know how to feel. They always do this, and it seems very odd. That's because they're fucked up people that don't have any kind of social skills, and that's what I would tell them. It's like something's wrong with you. You say you can only make me out in one picture when it's got 2 of them have my whole full face up there. What, are you blind? Is your eyes fucked up? Your vision's all fucked up? Or you have a brain problem? What is it? Whatever it is, I have no use for a man like you, so let's just call this a wrap. I'm just like, I I wouldn't even know. I would still be cussing him out. It's like, don't ask me for shit, motherfucker. Don't ask me for nothing. You look at the pictures that's on there and be happy that's all you gonna get. But I mean, just the fact that he asked, that would just turn me off, and I would just block him or whatever they do on. Where did she say she's on? Hinge. Whatever they do, that would happen, so that he was, moved on out of my world. Yeah, them dating sites. I'm gonna have to. Maybe I should. Somebody who I know is on one. We'll have to go to coffee or something. They have to sit down and walk me through the whole thing, because I have never even seen one in action. I've never put it. It's not on my phone. I'm not registered on one. I don't know anybody who's on one. I mean, they might, but they've never like shared it with me. But I'm gonna have to make a effort to put some feelers out and see who's on it that I know that would trust me to look through their thing and look at all the dudes and see what's going on about the responses and stuff. I really want to know, but not enough that I'm going to register on there. My curiosity ends there. So that's what I would suggest, young lady. You don't offer to FaceTime. That's you're basically feeding into his delusion. And all this, I have tons of pictures, but I don't say that's too many words. All you have to say is no. Okay, that he has a problem with that, then just type back "fuck you" and then block him. Girl, nerd, if I was Nerd Sue said I should go undercover on the apps, can you imagine how many lives I would wreck? Oh my God. Because when the online dating thing first started back in the 90s, right? I was working at this law firm and I wanted to, see what it was all about. So I went, okay, this is just how foul, people don't even know who they're talking to. Okay. I mean, now they have like, video chats and stuff, but, in the 90s, they didn't have all that. They only had the instant messaging thing and it wasn't even very good. So I put up a profile on, well, I'm not going to tell you the name of the site. And in it, okay, now here I am, a black woman, married, a mama. I put up a page that showed myself to be a 20 something, I forgot how old he was, 20 something year old white guy who worked as a mechanic and was a single, okay, so male. What part of that is accurate? See, I was catfishing before I even knew the term was even done, but it was for research. I wasn't going to be trying to meet anybody, scam or anything like that. I wanted to see how women responded. And I worked with this guy. He was cute. He worked in the mailroom and, was going to college. He was about 19, 20, something like that. Nice build. He worked out and stuff and stuff. So I said, take some pictures. I had his girlfriend in on. I said, take some pictures of him with his shirt off and, so with him with his tool belt on and, looking all manly and shit and all this. So we planned all the pictures, right? So we put these pictures on the profile. All three of us are in on it. We put the pictures up and then we waited. Women was offering to send him plane tickets. They would send an address so they could send him their panties. I mean, it was just unbelievable. His girlfriend was just so disgusted she bowed out. She said, I can't read this stuff. But he and I were just fascinated by it because from all over the country, these women were just throwing themselves at like I said, he was cute though. He was very good looking. I chose like the cutest white boy that I knew at the time, and he was down for it for the shenanigans. So we did that, and it was just a fucking amazing how these women had no idea that because all the responses were typed by me, and I was talking like I was, like the HNIC. And so I'm, yeah, baby, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm talking like how, I heard niggas talk. So I'm typing this shit. These chicks was going for, oh my God, I'm going to send you some money for a plane, buy a ticket. You can come and stay with me and this and that, blah, blah, blah. Oh, do you need anything? I can send you a credit card. It was just unbelievable. I just never knew women could be so desperate. This was in the 90s. Oh well, nothing was going to happen to it because he couldn't even log on. I was the one with the passwords and everything. They couldn't even log on to it. But what I just used his pictures and she took the pictures for me. I told her what I wanted and she took all the pictures. So it worked out really well. It was a good research project. So by the time I, launched my askheartbeat.com website in 1997, uh, it was, I had knowledge about the online dating industry at that time, but now they're using these apps, and that's a whole new bag of tricks, and I haven't investigated that at all. So let's move on. We got 23 questions. This is question number 20. This is from a female in the 30 to 35 age group from Tacoma, Washington. I met this guy in his 40s on Bumble. Interesting guy. Loves to spend time with me. We have common interests, and the more I get to know him, it feels like he is the quiet person who does not. Oh, I guess she's supposed to say quiet. He is a quiet person who doesn't engage in others' lives much. Now, if it was even 3 years ago, I would have liked that personality where he stays away from people's lives, generally aloof. But then I fell sick, and I told him that I'm not well. But he never asked me any follow up questions like, do I need to visit a doctor or do I need any help? It's not COVID, so it's nothing critical, just that he never asked anything. I waited for a day or two just to see how he behaved. He called me regularly and texted me because weekdays are working hours are crazy, but never once asked me if I was okay. Hmm. A couple of nights ago, I bursted and told him that this is not right. And since if he is this aloof, then I should not waste any more time with him because it's like ignoring basic humanity. He apologized, and since then, he's been acting very concerned. Now, my question is this a red flag? The general apathy? Is he suddenly concerned because I pointed it out in front of him? My experience with guys says this is temporary. Another side of me says he will never change. Help me understand this. You're exactly right. And this is an understanding. This is what I was just talking about earlier about how some women don't understand. They take a behavior and they isolate it to that one incident instead of looking at what that behavior means in the grand scheme of the, overall in the relationship. What you have is a guy who is, because you jammed him up, now he's going to play that role. But that's not really who he is. Who he really is somebody who doesn't give a fuck if you're sick or not. Okay? Understand. Now, admittedly, you met him on Bumble, and you guys have been, uh, well, you don't say how long ago you just, yeah, you don't say how long ago you met him and how long y'all been dealing. That would have been information that would have been helpful. But the fact that you spent time together and all this kind of stuff offline, that means you're dating. You've been kind of dating this dude, and at some point, you just as a human, I mean, just for like coworkers, friends, and neighbors, a person would show some kind of empathy if they're having a health concern of, do you need anything? Can I get you something? Do you need me to run to the store for you, pick up your meds? I mean, what? Because, when people are really sick, they can't leave the house. A lot of times they barely have the strength to make themselves food. So you can bring them soup, this kind of stuff, if you are really, truly a concerned individual. The fact that he didn't offer to do anything and that didn't even ask you how you are is very telling. So, you had to coach him and so now he's trying to step up, but it's not real. That's not who he is. He showed you who he is at first. So if that's important to you, for some people it might not be. I'm not going to make it across the board thing, but if this is important to you, that you have a man in your life that shows concern and care and support of you when you're not at your best, then this is the wrong man for you. Okay? Understand what time it is and cut it off before you get in any deeper because you're going to constantly be wondering how he feels and if he even cares. And what if y'all had a couple of kids and the kids was sick or got hurt or something? This is, you be wanting him to be concerned about the baby, and he'd be like, oh, well, I have to stay at work and we'll leave you to handle it all by yourself. That's the kind of person that he is. So accept him for who and what he is. You don't have the power to change him, nor should you try. He's fine just as he is, but he's just not the fine person for you. Okay? That's what I'm going to tell you. Oh, somebody got timed out. Ooh, they did something bad. Get them, Shay. All right, let's move on to question 21. We got three more questions, right? 21, 22, and 23. Let me just make sure that, because sometimes she puts a number and it's not right. 22. Yeah, okay. It is 23. That is accurate. All right. Female, 30 to 35 from Jarrow in the UK. I've been with my partner for 4 years now. We had our first baby 3 months ago. Honestly, up until I got pregnant, he was a perfect partner. He was lovely and kind and always made me feel comfortable. When I started to get further along in the pregnancy, I started noticing a difference in him. Mostly it was little comments about my size and weight as I got bigger.
Then it turned into pointing out things that he doesn't like about my body and how he hopes I don't stay that way, like my stretch marks and the way my nipples changed. I'll spare you all the details, but I had a really long and difficult labor. During it, I pooped twice. Oh no. Once was in my pants when he was driving me to the hospital. Yeah, that happens. He has been making jokes about it constantly since we got home, and even uses it as an excuse not to change our baby by joking that I've given him PTSD. Honestly, the whole thing was already pretty embarrassing for me, even though I know it happens, but he's already making me feel humiliated. To make matters worse, he's even been bringing it up and trying to joke about it with our friends now that we're going out again. I never thought, wow, I'd be considering ending our relationship over something that sounds as silly as this, but I really feel like shit, and it's him that's making me feel this way. I've tried speaking to him about how embarrassed he's making me feel, like really vulnerable chats on my end, but it's met with indifference or being told I can't take a joke, and I really don't know what I can do at this point. I love any advice or perspective because I'm at my wits' end now, and I don't know what to say anymore if I'm just overreacting with hormones like he would say. No, you're not. He's being markedly disrespectful and abusive. That's what's going on. To go joke about your very private and problematic labor, in front of other people like that. I mean, most women know, that's a risk that happens. And because you're doing that, like those the bearing down and stuff. If you've eaten anything that day because before you went into labor, because most people don't really know that they're going to go into labor and all of that, then that's a risk that can happen. You don't control that. Okay, that's just your body wants everything out to make maximum room for the baby to move down the birth canal and to come out. So as that big old baby starts pressing down, then it's going to expel anything, and including your bladder and your bowels. So the women who suffer, who get through that the easiest, are the ones who have a long labor that's maybe not that hard, but they don't eat. So their body, they've already purged all that stuff out before they actually go into active labor. Unfortunately, that didn't happen for you, so you were in active labor, still with all the bowels, stuff full, and that's what happens though. Your body has expelled it for the baby, so to maximize the space available for the birth. So that, in that respect, it's that is a completely normal occurrence. It's just unfortunate that it happened in the car. Okay, now um, the jokes that you telling him, okay, I don't know how you speak to him, but the way to speak to a man like this is to say, you trifling two-bit piece of shit motherfucker. How dare you get around public and start making jokes about my humiliating experience like I'm the fodder for your fun, you fucking asshole. Don't make you the next time you do that, I'm gonna tell him some shit about you, so be ready. And then I would start to tell him about how, I don't know, something. What about how he can't hold his dick and he comes in 15 seconds or something? I would do something, tell him something to humiliate his ass too. So that's what we doing. We tell a humiliating story. So let's share that. Let's tell about yours. Okay. Let's talk about you so he can get a feel for it because he like to think it's so much fun and that you too sensitive. So then when he starts pouting, everybody starts laughing at him because he's Johnny Quick on the draw. Then you can just say, well, we were just making jokes though, remember? You shouldn't be so sensitive. I don't understand why you're being so sensitive. You must be your hormones. I would get him back. Revenge is my thing. You clown if you want to. Be prepared for what's coming, because I'm going to get you, and I'm going to wait until it's the most embarrassing time ever, like in front of your mama and your relatives at the next holiday gathering. And I'm going to tell it. I'm going to sing that song. I'm going to sing like a fucking canary. I'm going to tell everything. And then you're going to be sitting there looking all humiliated. I'm saying, yeah, how you like me now? Fucking pervert, freak, asshole, jerk. I hate that you the father of my child. I wish I would have got a retroactive abortion. Motherfucker. Yeah. But but see, she said he was perfect up until the time she got pregnant, and that's what I mean, millions of women say the same thing. When a woman gets pregnant and a man feels like she's vulnerable and she can't really fight back and she's in a weakened, vulnerable position, that's when they start to attack. That's when the bullshit begins. So many women tell that story, that kind of story. Oh yes, at the holiday dinner table, honey. Yes, it'll be like, oh, y'all heard the story about how my labor and stuff. Well, let me tell you a story about your son, your brother, your whoever he is, your nephew. And then I would start talking, when we was trying to make the baby and stuff, it was a miracle that she even got here. Because his ass was so quick on the draw. If the shit lasted 30 seconds, it was a fucking miracle. That's what took 4 years for me to get pregnant. I had to keep him in there long enough so for the shit to last. Or something. I was telling some fucked up shit about his ass. But it's like we telling jokes and we saying shit that people do. I would definitely be a part of that party. Make sure everybody laugh because I'm gonna tell it in a way that embellishes and talk about how your face looked and how embarrassed you were and how you was talking about, oh well, we'll do it the next time. I'll get you on the next time. And then you rolled over and went to sleep and I didn't hear nothing from you for 12 hours because you was passed out because it was so good. He's an asshole. So when men start doing stuff like this, all signs of politeness, care, and sensitivity to their feelings go out the window. I'm going to roll up my sleeves and I'm going to be a fucking savage on your ass, and you're going to wish that you had shut your fucking mouth. That's what you're going to wish. Because I'm going to hurt your feelings. I'm going to tell all your boys how you can't fucking your dick is little. I'm going to say all kinds of shit. How I just tolerate you because I liked you, but and on your sex game is on whack status. All kind of stuff. I'm going to say all kind of shit. And you know what? You better not say nothing. Because you thought it was so much fun to rag on me. Now when the shoe is on the other foot, suddenly you all in your feelings about it. We don't know what he's done. Your ass ain't psychic. You don't know nothing. Be quiet. Trying to act like they Miss Cleo or some shit and know all the past and the future. You don't know crap other than what's in this letter. Let's move on to question 22. This is a male, 21 to 25, Thousand Oaks, California. My supervisor is flirting with me, and I don't want to piss her off because I really need this job. It's my first job out of college. I'm 22, and it's related to my degree. I'm a young black male, and my supervisor is a 40-ish white woman. Oh, this is a hot mess. Auntie Deb, I just got up out of my parents' house, got an apartment with my girlfriend, and quitting isn't an option. On my first day on the job about 2 weeks ago, she asked me to go with her to lunch. I was raised to be a gentleman, so I held the door open for her when we were walking out of the office. She said thank you and asked if there was a lucky lady in my life. I said yes. Actually, there is. We're going on 5 years together. She went, oh, a high school sweetheart. She's been texting me these memes on and off, to which I always only respond with ha ha. She also touches my back a lot when she walks by. I don't know how to tell her to stop without shooting my career in the foot. Plus, I feel like I'm lying when I tell my girlfriend my date was fine when she asks about it. How do you suggest I handle this situation? Do you, young man, okay, what she's doing is called sexual harassment. It's not a thing that you can get fired over. So stop worrying about that. But you just started this job. So what you need to do is put her in check now and say you sit her down and you say, something I want to talk to you about. And she's going to say, oh, what? It's like, I'm not comfortable with the handsiness. You find you touching me all the time and, sending me things. I feel like that's a boundary violation. And I would like you to stop. I don't want it to cause any problems in my relationship. I'd like to keep work and my private life separate. You know, there's no reason for you to send me memes and things like that. I'm your subordinate. Unless you're sending it to all the staff, you shouldn't be sending it to me either. And I'd like your cooperation in that. Is that something that you feel like you can do? And she's going to say, of course. I'm sorry. I didn't realize, that was bothering you. She's going to try to make it seem like, something wrong with you. But you ignore all that and you say, thank you. I really appreciate it because my girl means a lot to me and I just really don't want any problems at home. Okay? So thank you for your cooperation. That's what you say to that trifling bitch. It's like, how you going to be? She got some young, hot looking black man up in there and she trying to put her claws in you. You fend that bitch off before the next thing she going to be trying to set you up. And then you really will be in a world of trouble. Okay? Stay focused. You there to make money, not get your dick wet. Don't you be fucking around on the job with nobody. You watch what you say and you watch what you do. Don't be hanging around at nobody's desk, especially no woman, trying to talk to them. And don't you let them talk to you like that or come around yours. You go to lunch and stuff with some people, you make sure some dudes in the group. I'm telling you, as a person, you entering corporate America at 22, what you do now is going to establish you in a way that's either going to make you or break you. I've seen too many black men get in wonderful positions and then they fuck it up because they be worrying about their dick at work, chasing pussy at the office, talking to women, saying stuff they have no business saying to them about their body or their clothing, their figure, their anything. It's like you're a married man, you got a girlfriend, even if you don't have nothing. You leave the women at your office alone. You keep your opinions about what they look like in their body and stuff to yourself. You don't be leering at them and you don't go hanging around there just like some kind of thirsty fucking animal. Okay? All of those things are important things, lessons for you to learn right now. You conduct yourself with class every time you are around coworkers. They will take you seriously. You didn't go to college and stuff to go around and be worrying about your dick. You got pussy at home. Stay there. You heard the letter from the dude earlier this tonight where he messed up and his wife don't want nothing to do with him now. Okay, you've been with your lady for 5 years, and evidently you're happy. That's why you're still there. So honor and respect that. Protect it. You guys fell in love very early, so that's like you probably her first love and she's yours. Y'all need to really fight for that, protect it, and keep it, because you're gonna have people like this chick here, trying to always destroy some shit that's beautiful because they don't have it. So men need to think more about that and stop following their dick. Think about what you have and what you're gonna lose by fucking up for this 10 minutes of fun. You're gonna lose 5 years or more of your life behind 10 minutes of fun with a bitch you don't even fucking care about anyway. I don't know why men do it. It can't be like it's that exciting that you would risk everything that you have. You're gonna be giving up half. You're gonna be paying child support. You're not gonna grow up with your kids. You're gonna lose the woman that you allegedly love. All of your life is gonna be fucked up because of that 10 minutes that you just couldn't keep yourself under control. I've seen it happen to too many black men in corporate America. And then so they be there and then they be gone. I've seen it over and over and over and over. So it's like nobody has these kind of conversations with them before they go to school and before they get up in, corporate America. They're going to be testing you. They have all these stereotypes about black people, especially men. So you need to really understand what you're trying to do here and where you are. Play your cards right, and you can go far, especially if you're smart. But you get into a situation where you just going willy nilly and following your dick is gonna lead you down the path of death and destruction. And don't say I didn't warn you. So you get this bitch off of you. Get her off of you now. And if she has any problems with it and doesn't want to stop, then you go escalate to HR. Okay, I mean it. Don't let her fuck you up. Question number 23. This is a female in the 18 to 21 age group who says no location provided. Hmm. I found what I believe is a camera in the bathroom I share with my two younger sisters. What? What? No wonder she didn't provide a location. We are 19, 17, and 15 years old. Okay. We live with our mom and her fiance. He's 48. What is this about these 48-year-old men? We girls share a bathroom, and a few days ago, I noticed what looked like a charger. It looks a lot like those hidden cameras plugged into one of the outlets that was neither mine or my two sisters, and it was facing the shower. Just some background info. My mom and dad divorced about 9, 10 years ago. My mom has had a couple of boyfriends since, but she's getting married this summer to this current one. We've been home with her and him since our dad has been away for work. He comes back next week. Our mom pushes for us to, quote, bond with her boyfriend, but I've never really been interested in having a relationship with him since I don't really know him that much, except for the fact that he constantly wants my sister and I to cover up. Hmm. So I noticed a new charge that wasn't ours when I was going to plug in the curling iron, and that outlet is across from the shower. It looks like those hidden cameras you buy off of Amazon, and I just felt sick when I saw it. I unplugged it to plug in the curling iron instead and feel like my mom's fiance put it there. The next day it was plugged in again, not by either of my sisters or me. I asked. I even asked my sisters if it's there since we usually buy things like that ourselves, and both said they thought it was mine. We didn't touch it again, but we placed stuff in front of it to make it seem like we're not aware that it's there. I don't know how to bring it up to my mom since she's already been weird about us not wanting a relationship with him. I feel like I need to do something to protect my sisters, but I don't know what. Okay, your dad's out of town. He comes back next week. This is what I want you to do. I want you to go in the bathroom and I want you to take a picture of that thing. Then you unplug it, and then on the back they're going to have, because all the electronic things have like the manufacturer, the model number, the serial number, and I don't know, usually a bunch of other numbers. I don't know what they mean. You use your camera, you zoom in, and you get a close up of that, and then you send everything to your daddy, and then put it back in the wall, and you step back and take a picture of where it is, and show how it's facing the shower, right? So you should probably have about 4 or 5 pictures. You're gonna send them all to your father and say, "This is what we found in the bathroom, Dad." And I'm suspicious that mom's boyfriend had put this thing in there so he could take pictures of us nude in and out of the shower. That's all you got to say. And watch the fireworks explode. Because, see, now you have photographic evidence. That's why I want you to make sure you step back, whatever kind of way you can show. You want to show a picture of that camera and where it's pointing to. You want to make sure that your dad has a real visual of the fact that it's pointing towards the shower so this fucking pervert can watch little minor girls bathing. Okay, that's what you need to do so your daddy can roll in there and start beheading motherfuckers, including your mama, because she the one that brought that motherfucking freak around you. Well, it's like the video is good, but pictures. I mean, she could do a video too, I guess, but pictures are what you need because if you have to file any kind of legal documents, you can't file a video in court like that. You have to file pictures. And so the pictures will have, they're date stamped and time stamped. And so he would show, like I said, the relations. There's any police officer in this world will be able to look through them 5 or 6 pictures, see, okay, this is it, this is the model, and then they can look up the model number and see, verify what kind of equipment it is, and if it's the kind that's transmitting wirelessly to some third, some place where he's downloading video. So then they got him because that's pornography of a child. And dude is going down. That's why I want her to take the picture of, all them numbers they have on the back. You know what I'm talking about. I don't know what they are, but videos you can't. Videos, when you file some court action, you can't file videos. You can file pictures though. As exhibit A, B, C, D, E, and this kind of stuff. They can have the videos if there's a trial, and then they can give it to the DA or whatever. They can watch it. But as far as them, you know, if he like files for custody papers or something like that, the video, he's gonna need to attach some photos and show that this man is a pervert and the girls are at risk. Now, you being like, if you guys live with your dad, you're 19 years old, you're fully capable of watching the younger two while he's away. You're an adult. Now it's just a matter of, does he trust you or not, or you one of them special kind of 19-year-olds, or you a solid 19. But that's what I would recommend that you do, and take them pictures, like, and send them to him. He's not gonna be back till next week. You want to send them to him now, and say, this is what we found our second day here. This is what's going on at the house in the bathroom that we use. Okay, that's what you're gonna do. Well, telling them to cover up, that means he's just a little bit too focused on their bodies. But it was really weird because when my daughter, I moved out of Oakland, right? And I moved to a very wealthy part of the Bay Area where we were like one of maybe 5 black families in the whole town at that time. This was, some years ago. And when we moved there, she was starting middle school. So that's what, sixth, seventh, and eighth grade. So that was starting sixth grade. So then after that, we moved to, she went to high school, right? Do you know, in high school, these girls were getting their dads to pay for them to get boob jobs? High school girls. And I thought that was so bizarre because I'm like, okay, why would a father be tripping about his daughter's boobs? Where they do that at? But the fathers would pay. And I thought that was just so bizarre, so super weird that these dads were worried about what their daughter's chest looked like. So, Like I'm telling you, these was not black folks. Cause I'm telling you, it was so bad that my clients had met my daughter, right? And they, she stood out like a fly in buttermilk. So she's around all these people and stuff. And so they'd see her. I mean, we'd wear her hair like this. And so they would see her and they said, "Oh, I saw your daughter on, such and such a street." And I'm like, "How did you?" But then I realized how they knew it was her because it's not like it's hard to figure out. It's like five black girls in the whole town. So, you know, yeah, they was teenagers. They were in high school. Those are kids, the high school students. They're teenagers. So I'm telling you, I don't know, but there's just some weirdness lately about men and young girls. And a mother of a 14, 12 and up age girl, you better watch who you have around them and where your girls are, and who even their older brothers are not off limits. Your husband, grandfather, your father, their grandfather, your brothers, their uncles, your male cousins, all of them are suspect in my book. And you know why they need to be suspect? Because that way you can protect your daughter. Just let them know I don't trust none of you motherfuckers around my kid. But you can prove me wrong. I'll be happy to be proven wrong. But until then, you guilty until proven innocent, and that's just the way it's gonna be. And they not gonna have to like it. But guess what? Who gives a fuck? Because your daughter's safety and mental health is at stake. And it's better for you to be a savage about it and blame them in advance and ward off any possible bullshit than it is for you to be one of them Pollyanna overly trusting type just because you related to some damn body. You think they won't hurt your daughter. Please. They hurt the ones that they have access to. And you women who is overly trusting are the ones whose kids gets victimized because you trust every fucking body. I don't trust nobody. Yeah, especially if they single. But even then, shit, their own kids' own daddies be doing shit to them. And the woman just like, oh, but I trust him. Yeah, but you shouldn't. Oh, I don't trust nobody that much. So anyway, that is the Savage Sunday show for today. I hope that was savage enough for you. We just gonna be back on Tuesday with the regularly scheduled show. The following Friday is the last Flummox Friday, and then next week on the June 11th, we start with the Dusty News Network. If you got something you want to send in for DNN, email it to survivingdating@gmail.com. Make the subject line Dusty News. And those are memes, crazy posts that you see, comments that you see, in reaction to a post, all that kind of stuff that from these knucklehead men always trying to come up with some kind of profound something that sound like a fool. But those are the kind of things that we review on the show, and we make a lot of fun of them, and we expose their thinking and what they're trying to get women to do and believe by the words that they put on the internet. It's fascinating when you really get into it and delve into the mind games that are at play. A lot of women just really don't understand what they're reading or the impact it's having on them, which is why we started doing this show. So I appreciate everybody coming, spending time with me this Sunday. Please hit that subscription button before you leave and the like. And we have, over 900 videos on the channel, head towards 950. So please find one that you enjoy and share it with your friends and loved ones. I'll talk to you real soon, like Tuesday, okay? Bye-bye.